604 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane, off and running. Brian here with you, John LaBeouf producing. Got a busy Wednesday show coming your way this morning. Attorney Franz Borghardt in for Legally Served coming up in just a little bit. A more than 30-year-old death row conviction overturned. Okay, we're going to dive in on that and a few other things with Franz coming up here at 6:25. We've also got State Representative Emily Chenevert at 7:15. She's got that comparative fault bill that I think is phenomenal, but it's quite popular in the Capitol right now, to be sure. From Louisiana's Lawsuit Abuse Watch, Lana Venable is going to join us at 7:35. 8 o'clock hour, let's talk Smoke 'em if you got him. Clay Young's coming by at 8:50. Well, Clay Young's being on the hotline at 8:15, and then we will wrap up the guest list talking about Baton Rouge Night Market. Or Siu Nguyen's going to join us at 8:35. But before we get to anything else, we start off with top stories and trending. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom.
Number 5.
Yesterday, WBRZ's chief meteorologist, Dr. Josh Each, just told us the Mississippi River would crest before things got too bad, and the Army Corps of Engineers has now echoed those sentiments. They are not planning to open the Bonacera spillway due to new forecasts having the river not rising to the extent to open the spillway. According to Matt Rowe with the Army Corps, the forecast and measurements for the Mississippi River are coming in lower than the 1.25 million cubic feet per second that would be required to make the spillway open up.
Number 4.
A woman was injured in a shooting on Blunt Road and Scotland Avenue, BRPD says. Officials believe the shooting happened around 6:30 p.m. in the 600 block of Blunt Road. The injury is non-life-threatening. Emergency officials said she was transported to the hospital in serious condition.
Number 3.
The Baton Rouge Metro Airport is on track for another record year in passenger volume, defying national trends that suggest a potential travel slowdown. Through the first 3 months of 2025, BTR's passenger traffic is up an average of 6% over last year.
Number 2.
State economic development officials yesterday announced a $17.5 billion investment in a liquefied natural gas production facility in Calcasieu Parish. Louisiana LNG should produce up to about 16.5 million metric tons of LNG per year, according to a statement from Woodside Energy. That's that's the company that's coming to town, or to the state, I should say. LED officials said the project marks the largest single foreign direct investment in state history. We'll have a lot more on this coming up right after we talk with Clay. Once Clay bounces, we'll dive in.
Number 1.
All right, got to take you to Springfield, Louisiana, where our news partners at WBRZ are reporting that parish school leaders have identified 31 people allegedly involved in a vandalism incident that left Springfield High School trashed and damaged. Officials said the vandalism incident was meant to be a prank by the 28 students who were involved, but it caused disruptions to school the next morning. Employees were forced to clean up what they could before returning to work as quote unquote normal. The students are being disciplined based on the severity of their participation, officials said. What's trending, John?
Well, an alleged member of the Islamic State is being questioned in Iraq after officials in that country accused him of playing a role in inciting the New Year's Day terror attack in New Orleans.
So this is starting to get a little bit of run here. I saw CBS had it. I saw Channel 4 New Orleans had it. But like, interestingly enough, like ABC hasn't run with this one yet. And I don't know that they fully connected the dots to put this guy with the guy in New Orleans. Like, I don't know. I don't.
That could very well be the case.
Right. Like
that maybe they're holding off just to get the facts straight.
Right. So
Yeah.
I'm expecting more out of the story today.
Yes, absolutely. Hey, speaking of stories, AOC leads in several polls for the 2028 Democratic presidential nominations, showing
Let's
strong
go.
support among Democratic voters.
Let's
okay.
go. All right. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. Let's go. She's fun. If nothing else, she's fun. That's Franz. You're lighting up here.
Oh, yeah,
Nothing,
I know, right?
Not a word from Franz.
I think she's an exceptionally brilliant young lady.
You do not.
I think
you lie through your teeth.
I think her getting the nomination is going to ensure the Republican Party.
Thank you.
4 more years.
That's possibly more.
Yeah.
Possibly
Yeah.
more.
Yeah. Oh, man. Well, Brian, we have officially got a Louisiana-made hit. Sinners earned a perfect 100% Rotten Tomatoes score.
So I mean, that's unbelievable.
Really
Most of
impressive.
them are, most really good movies are in the upper 90s, right?
Yes.
That close out at 100.
Sinners.
Sinners. Have you heard this one yet?
No, I have not.
Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's filmed a little bit in New Orleans, a little bit in Bogalusa, mostly in Donaldsonville.
Okay.
So it's been in the box office for about 2 weeks now.
Supernatural or
Vampires.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's right.
Right.
And
Yeah.
and to get 100%, I mean, I'm not guessing it. These are not like shiny, glittery vampires. You know,
No.
these
No,
are not-
no. This isn't teen angst vampires.
Okay.
No.
You know, we talked about vampire movies, and I was just thinking about it just now, Franz. I didn't mention Midnight Mass. We were mentioning different.
Excellent.
that- Fantastic.
Excellent.
Fantastic.
Have you seen
series.
Midnight Mass?
No.
It's
Ooh, that's a good take on a vampire.
It's a good
lore.
take on vampire
See,
lore.
I fell off the vampire train after True Blood. True
That's
Blood
a good
was
place
awesome.
to stop.
Yeah.
That's a good place to get off the
Yeah.
train.
Well, and the thing is, like,
Sookie.
Cookie Stackhouse, but filmed right here in Louisiana as well.
Right.
Which, by the way, Vampire Bill, you know how impressive his house looks on screen?
Mhm.
It's Roseneath Plantation, which is kind of on the way to Natchitoches.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend stopping there. It is such a letdown in person.
Oh.
Such a letdown in person.
I feel like Louisiana does vampires right.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
For sure.
Anne
cinematically.
Rice,
Yeah.
Interview with a Vampire, Lestat.
Sinner. Where can I watch Sinner?
It's
Streaming
at the
theaters.
movies.
Oh, it's at the movies.
Yeah.
Okay.
So last
45
night was.
oh.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
45 million in the first weekend, and now it's up over 100 million.
Oh, good
Yeah.
for Michael.
Yeah.
Good for Michael.
Oh yeah.
Well, last night was a toss up. My wife and I, we were going to go see the Amateur or Sinners. Sinners was the seats. It was packed. There was no way.
Okay.
And so it's like, okay, the Amateur it is, which was really good. But yeah, definitely want to see Sinners for sure.
So I'm going to get back on the vampire train with this one. But the one that needs to be made, there's a book called The Fat White Vampire Blues.
Okay.
And this is about a vampire in New Orleans who is, because when you're a vampire, you like stay the same way the rest of eternity.
Right.
Yeah, he was fat when he became a vampire.
He's so fat.
So yeah.
Oh.
So you got this fat guy in New Orleans. Like once you're a vampire, all you can do is drink blood. You can't eat
Metabolize
right?
it, yeah.
Well, but you can't eat any of the food. So imagine being like morbidly obese. Well, I guess you're not morbid anymore because you're already dead. Imagine being like super obese in New Orleans and smelling all the food, and it's like a constant torture that you can't have. Like you can't have
I'd read
anything
that
fried.
book.
Yeah.
I'd read that book.
I'll get it. I'll loan it to you. And it's followed up by The Bride of the Fat White Vampire. He drives a cab. It's awesome. It's like the old school vampires, like the oldest of their names are Katz and Bestoff, which of course K and B. So it's fun, it's funny, it's
Like
dark.
Confederacy of Nuts is of vampires.
Very, very much so. Very much so.
They can't all be Pat.
I don't know how we
Robert
get
Pattinson.
No.
Some of them are Patton Oswalt.
That's a little yes, a lot more. We are due up for our first break. At 6:13 to Talk 107.3 FM. LSU baseball took it to Southeastern last night. It was impressive. We'll cover it next.
Sinners. Huh.
Yeah, the working title was what was the working title for that movie?
So we're back, right? Louisiana's back in making movies. I mean, we're getting the tax credit. We're okay.
Yeah, there's a couple legislators want to jack that up, ruin it.
I am interested to hear about. So I don't do a lot of civil work. I am interested to hear about the new comparative fault legislation. What's it going to do?
If you are more than 50% responsible for an accident, you can't sue.
How do you determine that, though? Like, how do you determine half?
We already have comparative fault.
No. But how do you determine like more than 50% at fault? Like you and I can get into an accident. If you rear end me, generally you're at fault, right? Like,
right.
But how do you like? Where's that 50? That's where I'm curious about. Not my dog to hunt, man. In my drive in today, Gordon McKernan gets a shout out by Jeff Cavins on the Hallow app because Gordon McKernan, he didn't say Gordon McKernan's name. He says there's an attorney in Louisiana in Baton Rouge that has a John 3:16 flag flying right out inside of his law office on the highway. And I'm like, oh.
He's got a bunch of billboards that say, "Blessed are the meek." Billboards that say, "Go outside, nerd."
I got to get in the zone.
Are you Court TV in it today?
I am.
Okay.
I asked them, am I in the A block? And they were like, no, you're in the C and the D block. However, it's TV. And things change. So I can stay until the end. So we don't have to do 650, but yeah.
Okay.
I should just tell them how important you are. And
Wait, you said it tells me how important I am, but you might not have to bail on me till later.
I should just tell them this is a fixed part of my day. My week.
Oh.
I never really read the plot for Sinners. His working title was grilled cheese. That's what it was.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Grilled cheese.
Cuts 1.3. What was it?
1.3, 1.4, and 7.2.
Okay. How long are 1.3 and 1.4?
Let's check it out. 21 seconds. 1.4 is 13.
Okay.
7.2, 20.
All right.
I mean, I'm really working on this. What would Lestat be like if it was like a fat vampire? Like morbidly obese fat, or just like okay, like not able to move fat, or
no, able to like drive a cab, but you have
He's
some trouble sitting down and whatnot and getting back up again. Talk 107.3 FM and the Baton Rouge Clinic bring you the Dreams Come True Radiothon. Dreams Come True is an organization designed to help grant dreams for children with life-threatening illnesses and their families. The Dreams Come True Radiothon is presented today by Duplessis Pool Builders. Donate today at talk1073.com, and I can't emphasize this enough, y'all. Today is the last day. Today is the last day, and I can also tell you all morning long, every donation that's made during this show, and you don't have to end it at 0.73, because every donation made between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m., you are eligible to win. You're automatically entered to win 2 tickets to go see Angel Reese in the Chicago Sky take on the Brazilian national team. I know we've got a separate giveaway going on, the Show Us Your Angel contest that we've got going on. This is above and beyond that. These are same game, different tickets. So every donation made this morning puts you in it to win it, potentially, to go see Angel Reese and Haley Van Lith and the Chicago Sky take on the Brazilian national team. Donate now at talk1073.com. All right, LSU baseball welcomed in the Southeastern Lions to the box last night. Southeastern came in last night looking strong, on top of the Southland Conference. Number 51 RPI. They're probably going to the postseason. This was not your normal midweek game, or not your normal in-state game. Southeastern's been playing a level above lately. LSU decided in the bottom of the first to really put their stamp on things when first batter of the night for the Tigers, Daniel Curiel, steps into to the box.
Here's the 1-1 to Curiel. He will launch this one high and deep to left field, going back to the track to the wall, and just over the fence, a wall scraper, and Derek Curiel continues to pound the baseball. That's his 6th home run of the season. Another leadoff solo home run for Curiel, and it's 1-0 LSU.
Okay, next batter up, Jared Jones, the Bear. What's he going to do?
As that one has absolutely gone to the moon. Towards the scoreboard in left. Bye-bye baseball. Back-to-back jacks for LSU, and it's 2-0. Home run number 15 for the Bear.
Let your dominance be expressed. It was gorgeous, and it continued on like that throughout the night. LSU does end up putting a 4 spot up in the first inning. Another run in the second. Southeastern mustered up a run in the third and a run in the fourth. Then LSU puts up 5 in the bottom of the fourth, 1 in the bottom of the fifth, and then 4 more in the bottom of the seventh. The game ended in the bottom of the seventh, and it sounded something like this.
3-1 pitch. Swung on high and deep to left field. Going back is Walters. Drive home safely. Grand slam for Ethan Fry, and the Tigers walk it off in the bottom of the 7th with a 15-2 run rule victory over Southeastern Louisiana.
I mean, when you're ready for the home stretch of Southeastern Conference play, that's the tune-up you absolutely needed. 15-2, your final score. By the way, that was Chris Blair on the call for the LSU Sports Radio Network. Tigers will be at Texas A&M Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 6 p.m. Your first pitch on Friday. You'll hear that on our sister station, Eagle 98.1. You said Christy was in this morning? Good morning, sweetheart. Let's just see. I meant to send you another story as well.
Okay.
About juvenile courts.
I was just in juvenile court yesterday. It was delightful.
Really? Where the hell's the story that I sent you?
It's in the text thread.
Yes, I realize that, but I'm looking for where I can read it.
I'm here all night.
There it is. Well, that's fast. All right, time to head back to the Shaw Bills Tire Traffic Center, and here's what we've got going on this morning. Interstates are looking fantastic. You're going to find a little bit of volume on 12 westbound leading up to Millerville, and actually before that, slight volume, actually lighter than normal volume on 12 westbound back by Range Avenue. Over on 10 westbound, we are smooth sailing to get your morning started off. 10 eastbound coming in from West Baton Rouge Parish looks great. Both bridges look great. I-110 the same. Surface streets. We got to go up to Zachary to find our only accident this morning. It is, however, with injuries. That would be Fenwood at Church Street up in Zachary. It is being worked right now by Zachary PD, but it's been on the board for about 10 minutes. That's really good traffic from the Shaw Bills Tire Traffic Center. .624 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. So, a man who was convicted of first-degree murder in 1998, his conviction has been overturned. Let's talk about it. It's time for Legally Served with attorney Franz Borghardt.
Who's that?
What you say, Franz?
It just feels right to be here on a Wednesday morning. Where was I last week? I was on
You were-
father-son vacation in
Yeah.
Georgia. I'm sorry, guys.
No, why are you sorry about that? You're the spring break.
Because the people deserve this segment.
Yeah, I understand.
I was watching.
Yeah.
I was watching at a distance. There was no legally served last week.
No, and that there was a series of different things happened for that.
It's okay.
Richard had to be out as well, and then I had a few calls out to a few other attorneys who, I'll politely say, missed the message.
Missed the message.
Yeah.
All right. So, do you think it is the case? Do you think the listeners, do you think it is the case that sometimes juries get it wrong and convict someone who may in fact be innocent?
It's possible.
Possible.
It's possible.
I mean, we know that happens. I mean, that's just human endeavors are not perfect, right?
Right.
We may have the best justice system in the world.
Everything that involves humans involves human error.
Right. So on the one hand, we're about to talk about a guy that may have done like 30 years in jail and he didn't do it, or he did do it and he's about to get another bite at the apple after 30 years.
Okay, definite pun in the last part of what Franz just said. We're leading up to that. Definite pun there.
I work on so many levels.
Let's dive in. Per the Associated Press, a Louisiana man who has spent nearly 3 decades on death row has had his conviction overturned by a district judge following a review of forensic analysis that the inmate's legal team argued was based on, quote, junk science. Jimmy Duncan was originally convicted of first-degree murder in 1998 after being accused by prosecutors of raping and drowning his girlfriend's toddler in a bathtub. Prosecutors relied on bite mark analysis and an autopsy performed by 2 experts, later linked to wrongful conviction, who Duncan's legal team described and discredited as charlatans. Duncan has long maintained his innocence in this. Fourth JDC Judge Alvin Sharp threw out Duncan's first-degree murder conviction in a ruling issued last week. The judge heard expert testimony that the bite mark analysis was, quote, not scientifically defensible, and the death appeared to be the result of accidental drowning. Okay.
Ooh.
All right. We're in a weird spot here, Franz, because there's no way in 2025.
You're not going to try this guy again.
Exactly.
You're not trying this guy.
Exactly. So are we looking at the possibility that the prosecutors just went down the wrong path the whole time and they were able to snag a guilty verdict then?
Well, so this got overturned based on the testimony of 2, and I'm air quoting for those listening on the road, experts that made an expert opinion to the jury. The jury relied on it and they convicted the dude. And it was a bite mark, right?
Right.
If the science is unreliable, the science is unreliable. And look, most of the time the prosecutors don't hire those experts. Those experts are working with law enforcement, and it gets served on a platter to the prosecutor on the back end of that. So I don't know that, is it possible that the prosecutor believed everything that was on the platter? Sure. I mean, we don't deal with a lot of quote unquote junk science today.
Right.
So,
well, hang on. It's easy to say that today. 30 years from now, are you going to look back at today's science and determine what was and wasn't junk?
Oh, can you imagine DNA being junk science later? 30 years from now? Oh,
woo. 30 years from now, if you can artificially create DNA, then yes.
So we gotta leave room for the possibility that this guy maybe didn't do it.
Okay, that's possible.
All right. So one of 2 things is going to happen with this. 1, they don't try it again. Or 2, they look at the guy and say, hey, you were in jail for 30 years. How about a credit for time served resolution? Best interest, you plead guilty to like a manslaughter. If he does that, he will lose his right to sue the bejesus. That's a technical legal phrase, guys. Bejesus out of the state.
And Washita Parish.
And Washita Parish, and make a bucket of money. So, I don't know. I do agree with your assessment, though. This guy's probably not getting retried.
This happened. He was convicted in 98.
Right.
It's been a minute. We got to take a break. We'll check news, traffic, weather. Legally Served will continue next. Before we take that break, got to remind you about the folks at Mathern's. You know where to find them downtown. They're on 3rd Street. You know where to find them by LSU in the Nicholson Gateway Shopping Center. And you know where to find them on Highland, just west of Kenilworth. The OG location is back. Used to be Kenilworth Supermarket back in the day. Now the family you miss and the prices you miss have come back home. Every Wednesday, the new coupons come out, the new deals of the week come out, the new insert comes out, and it's all available on the Mathern's Rewards app. Download it today. It's good at all 3 stores. Earn cash towards more groceries every time you shop at any of the 3 locations of Mathern's. Okay. Does double jeopardy apply here? Can they not?
No, he gets a new trial.
Okay. That's
So
where that's where I want to go. Look at
there's
that.
no double jeopardy. The state has the right, the DA's office has the right to go to trial if they want to. But I mean, here's the problem. It has, and I'm quoting the defense team, it has all the markings of a wrongful conviction. What's the definition of a reasonable doubt? The kid may have drowned in the bathtub. Remember when we were small enough to drown in bathtubs?
Yeah, and when that happened, we normally weren't left unattended.
Well, that's a different crime.
I understand that.
That's not raping, biting, and drowning.
I understand that, but I'm also guessing, and like I'm guessing here because I'm not going back and reviewing every note from the original case, but there had to be more than the bite marks that convicted this guy.
I think that. Oh, interesting.
What?
Did he act alone?
I've had kratom before. There's a diminishing returns on its effectiveness for pain relief.
So I've been watching the Joe Rogan show a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on the oregano oil pill kick. That was one of the things and then the methylene blue. Methylene blue. Have you done anything about that? Researched anything about that?
No, I don't normally do anything that's called meth.
Methylene.
So. Yeah.
Yeah.
Walter White had the blue. That's
Franz Borghardt is not using crystal meth. It is a supplement pill.
What do you get out of it?
I'm gonna send you some stuff on it. Just let you look and make your own decisions.
Okay.
And I say this lovingly, as having been a part of the journey that has led us from the 4-hour energy drinks to today. Energy is something that you're seeking. There are some immuno
metabolism is what I'm seeing.
That is the other thing.
I'm about to hop on the yerba mate kick.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's they're calling it nature's Zempic.
Okay.
Because for me right now, it's the.
You look glorious.
I know, because I'm working out like a beast, but I eat like an orphan on his first day of his forever home.
That was pretty scripted there.
I drink like I just had a 30-year death sentence overturned.
So we're officially on the same page, guys. I heard you.
Yes, I'm proud of that one.
I'm supporting this tax increase.
Same.
I think we need more prosecution, more arrests.
Oh, Hillermore was it yesterday? Hillermore was in yesterday, and he said our office has lost some good prosecutors because we're not able to pay everybody.
Right.
And I know he was trying to be general, but I think he was talking about you, Franz.
I'd go back tomorrow.
think
I would go back to being a prosecutor tomorrow.
the segment would get dramatically different.
No, it wouldn't.
Yes, it would.
The deal would have to be that I could still be me and not talk about Baton Rouge cases.
We're going to have an attorney from Hiller's office on tomorrow.
Which one?
I don't know.
Okay.
He hadn't said yet.
Somebody outside of the professional law was shocked that I was supporting this law, this tax. And I'm like, are you kidding me? One, there's a backlog. So I want the flow, the pipe to allow flow. Two, I want there to be lots of prosecution. What do I do for a living? It's like how would a CPA feel if you were like, okay, we're not going to pay taxes anymore? No. All my clients are innocent. Like somebody who did 30 years in jail. Like that bite in the apple. You notice what I did there?
I don't think it was intentional. I think I pulled that one out.
No. I work on levels.
Renee says if the person does not have their seatbelt on or have a child that not restrained, if they get hurt in an accident, it is their fault, no matter who was at fault. So I guess that's where comparative fault would come in.
I don't know, though. I mean, is it as simple as that?
Yeah.
If you
Time to get a look at your forecast. Here is WBRZ meteorologist Emma Kate Cowan. If your kid isn't properly restrained and your kid gets hurt, that's your fault.
But is it more your fault than, let's say you're at a stoplight?
And that's where we have comparative fault.
But how do you decide? Look, the question you need to ask this legislature is the determination of the percentages. That is going to be, look, I don't deal in this law. That's where lawyers are going to make a bunch of money.
Mm-hmm. No,
that's where we're going. Lawyer.
Lawyers already make a bunch of money.
We're going to lawyer.
Lawyers already make a bunch of money. So,
can I change my name to Baby Franzi?
No,
Uncle Baby Franzi.
No, because it only makes sense if your name starts with a B.
Yeah.
That's why it's Uncle Baby Billy. Baby Billy's Baba Bonkers.
Baby
Baby Billy's Baba Bonkers. Go outside, nerd. Why do I do it? Because I'm selfless. It never stops. It's the ultimate treadmill song, John.
It's amazing.
It's a constant rate. It's a heart attack in 4 minutes. See? You think it's going to drop, and it doesn't. 638 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. We got Legally Served with attorney Franz Borghardt continuing right now. Sorry, Franz, had to bring you back in with a little dead mouse. Get the blood flowing here, man. That's
a lot.
That's a lot. That song is called A City in Florida. And it's appropriate because it just sounds like a meth addiction wearing jean shorts.
What were we talking about again?
I don't know.
What do you want to talk
1998,
about?
Jimmy Duncan was convicted of first-degree murder in the drowning death of his girlfriend's toddler in a bathtub. That conviction has been overturned. We were talking about a couple different things heading into the break. One of them was the likelihood that he's tried again. And the question I wanted to ask you was, well, if you're found not guilty of a murder, you can't have double jeopardy.
Well, he wasn't found not guilty.
But what's the difference between being found not guilty and having your conviction overturned? Aren't those two essentially the same?
No. A conviction being overturned means you get a new trial. Okay. And that means double jeopardy hasn't been attached. And when I say you get a new trial, that means that the state can prosecute you. Getting a not guilty in most cases means game over.
Okay.
Now that the only caveat I say to that is people often ask, well, wait, you can get prosecuted for a federal crime and a state crime that are connected in the same factual basis. And I'm like, yeah, that's two different sovereign governments.
Mm-hmm.
And that is not double jeopardy. You can be prosecuted by both. Typically, they don't do that, but they can.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
okay, but as a criminal defense attorney, wouldn't you be the first to argue that if your guilty verdict has been thrown out, that is the same?
I would go to the prosecutor. a good criminal defense attorney would say, "Hey, man, Brian, are we really going to try this again?
Mhm.
Like, dude." Or if it's that judge, may want to waive a jury.
Yeah.
Bench trial. Odds are this case is not going to get tried again.
Okay.
Odds are, I mean, look, they're going to, the state is going to go to the family, if there's still family around 30 years later,
Mhm.
they're going to talk to them.
Yeah.
I think that you're going to see one of two things, either a credit for time served resolution best interest,
Mhm.
or they're just not going to bring it again.
Let's talk about what got to this point in the first place, and that is bite mark analysis being considered junk science.
Was it the bite mark analysis, or was it these two doctors that were peddling something that may not have been valid? Okay, so bite marks. I'm gonna tread very carefully because I know there are drive time kids in the car right now.
Okay.
Bite marks are a thing.
Okay.
We know that you can leave bite marks on another human being. Just gonna throw that out there. That is a thing. Now, can you match bite marks to one human being? I don't know. Maybe, probably. Was the science at that time valid science? Well, we have a legal method to determining whether or not something is valid science and an expert. And if under today's microscope we say no, it's junk science, there's no validity to it, well then okay. Doesn't mean it couldn't have been evidence. It just means, can they offer an expert opinion about it? It's the difference between, hey, that looks like it could be a mark. Maybe it's a bite mark.
Mhm.
I don't know that it is a bite mark, versus I know as an expert, this is a bite mark.
Per the Associated Press report, a video recording of the examination shows the prosecutors, quote, forcibly pushing a mold of Mr. Duncan's teeth into the child's body, creating the bite marks that were later used to convict him. A court filing from Duncan's legal team. That according to a document from Duncan's legal team.
That's a little different, right?
Well, yeah, it is. Well, but if it's a mold of Duncan's teeth, then it's the same as Duncan's teeth as far as with the marks that are going to be left behind are concerned.
Are they causing the mark, or are they?
Well,
That's the problem, right?
No, the problem is I don't know how to ask this question without being unbelievably insensitive to a dead toddler. Why did he need to bite the kid?
Well, I think there's an allegation of rape, and again, I'm cautiously. I'm not saying I go
3-month-old.
I don't go. I'm not saying Franz Borghardt goes around biting human beings. I'm saying I hear that biting happens sometimes in sexual assault.
Okay,
that is the best way I can say that.
No. You that is a very clean way to put that for sure. Now,
that's surprisingly clean for me.
Remarkable for you. I'm legitimately impressed. Now, that being said, how
the problem is with kids.
What? No, I want to go back to bite marks as analysis or bite marks as science. Can this be used? Like, I don't know why this wouldn't be considered junk science.
I think the problem is the methodology. From what you just read to me, the methodology of what they did may be the problem. Now, does that mean to say that one day we won't be able to use bite marks in a more scientific method? Well, sure. Look, at the end of the day, fingerprinting is looking at a print and matching like 5 or more spots of the print to another print at 5 or more spots.
Mm-hmm.
It's looking at two things and saying, hey, these are similar. DNA at its core is looking at one thing and looking at another thing and saying, hey, this is similar. What is the bite mark analysis? Looking at one thing and looking at another thing.
Yes, but you're going to have a lot more that's similar but not exact.
The question is our technology going to increase its ability to do this job without creating situations where it's artificial creation of a bite mark?
My other question becomes how much of this conviction was based off the bite marks in the first place?
It sounds like a large portion of it.
That's where I'm going with this, Franz. Should we just flush this whole thing simply because if they were if the prosecution had pushed all the chips into the table on the bite marks and the bite marks alone and didn't have 19, 20 other things listed up as reasons why this guy was guilty, then your reasonable doubt there is based off of them putting like too much emphasis on the one thing.
Let's take a step back. It's a drowning
Mm-hmm.
It's an alleged rape and drowning. So, is there enough to say the kid was by himself such that the kid could drown? Negligent homicide.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly.
Okay.
Okay. Is there enough to substantiate a rape and an intentional drowning? Because that's the difference, right? Is as I push the kid under the water and I don't let the kid come up from the water. Is there enough to substantiate a sexual assault? Was the bite mark the only thing? That leads me to believe there was no other physical indications of sexual trauma.
So, yeah, or trauma of any kind.
Right.
Was there any indication of bruising on the kid from him holding the kid down? Are you going to hold a kid underwater to drown a kid? Like there's going to be other pieces of evidence here.
I guess there wasn't.
Mm.
Well, and then there's somebody believed that this guy did it. So why did they believe that this guy did it? Doesn't mean that they did it.
Hang on. We got to pause it. You're here till 7, right?
I think
You're
so.
Good. Okay. We're going to pause that right there because the emotion of this, I think, may have played a bigger role than is being given credit for. He's attorney Franz Borghardt, legally served. We do it about this time just about every single week. We're going to take a quick break. We will come back and continue after the break. Before we take our break, got to remind you about P.F. Chang's. If you have not, you know what? I tell you about lunch plans all the time. How about what P.F. Chang's is rolling out now? Girls' night. Every Wednesday night. Yes, join P.F. Chang's every Wednesday starting tonight for half off bottles of wine and champagne. You're going to get the great food. You're going to get the great ambiance, the great service, the great company, and now half off bottles of wine and champagne.
I think I know where Fisher and I are going to dinner tonight.
The chicken lettuce wraps, you already know.
Yeah,
you already know. Going to throw one more at you there. I'm all about the sesame beef now.
Is that an appetizer?
No. It's an entree. Yes. Let me throw one more. The black pepper chicken. Corporate Boulevard, Town Center. Look for the Giant Golden Horse. Are you a state park kind of guy? Have I told you about this scenario yet? I got to find a state park to go to over the summer. Well, 3-day weekend with the fam.
Isn't there one in?
Oh, there's dozens.
Gulf Shores, Gulfport, one of the two.
Nope, I want a Louisiana state park.
Okay. I don't know where our state parks are.
North
Louisiana would probably be your preferable.
That's what I'm thinking.
More hills, we have a mountain.
Driscoll, and I don't know.
So what is James going to be for Wax Museum?
What's Fisher going to be?
Elvis Presley. Am I not supposed to?
James
am
is
I not supposed to disclose that?
No, I don't. I think it's fine. P.T. Barnum.
That tracks. That tracks. Easy outfit.
He's got a top hat.
Okay, well, there you go. I saw Fisher's outfit yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Glorious.
I'm cutting out a half an hour early on the show on Tuesday so I can make it over there.
You and I will be in the. I don't think they're in the same class this year.
I'm in the 8:30 to 9:15 window.
I think I'm in the. Yeah. They've been. Our sons have been in the same class before. I'm very excited. James actually says hello to me now. Like I get a high five sometimes a fist bump.
Yep. So I'm moving my interview with Congressman Carter up to Monday. I called him yesterday. I called his press person yesterday. I'm like, listen, I know we haven't done the segment in like 2 weeks because the congressman's been traveling. I got to move it this week. And when I explained why, his press person was like, oh no, absolutely, you got to go do that. So.
So I stand behind Blue Ridge. Blue Ridge, Georgia, great little trip.
Okay.
Great little trip. Got a little cabin. It was in Stu's family's cabin, but
Oh,
yeah. So there was that. His parents have a cabin up there.
okay.
It was a friend favor. It was a friend. Stop.
Slept on the couch.
Anyways, so great little cabin on a mountain.
Mhm.
So there was that. That was cool. Went to a town called Helen, which is like a German town. Like they have houses and building structures. It was that little Germany. Yeah, we had schnitzel. So yeah, life's good. I like the idea of a state park in Louisiana, though.
So
This sounds like a great way for you to get like lieutenant governor sponsorship for a segment.
that's where this is going.
I like it.
No, well, because I've already got the RV covered. Miller's RV is hooking me up. We were doing a bit about RVing, and I was like, I really want to get out and explore. I think every guy has that John Steinbeck fantasy,
Yeah.
where you want to get out and explore, but at the same time, don't want to empty my own poo.
So that's local.
Yeah.
That's local.
We did the whole bit. It was a great bit. It was funny. It was fair to all sides. And the owner of Miller's RV called me up. He's like, "You need to get introduced to RVs." I'm like,
I hear they're
I kind of do.
magnificent.
So I'm
I kind of want an RV as like a mother-in-law suite in my backyard. Is it like
We'll
as a
see.
lounge?
We built a mother-in-law suite in our backyard. So
We need to talk. Would that be a Brad the Builder or Rocco Po'boy Troy kind of thing?
Po Boy Troy might be your route here.
Okay.
Brad could do it for sure.
Like that would be the new chapel.
Yeah. Oh,
Kidding.
see, they're back to back. It's back to back. We got to figure out how to redo that. Ingest something new under one of the cart numbers. Mm-hmm.
Maybe we just take them out and it could be like a reset.
Re-ingest it as a different cut. That's what you have to do. .652 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Legally served with attorney Franz Borghardt rolling right along. Let's set the table here. It's the mid to late 90s. You're in Ouachita Parish, and the headline reads, "Toddler sexually assaulted and drowned, allegedly." How much going into this trial, Franz? How much going into this trial that has now been thrown out over 30 years later? How much does emotion play a factor?
I think emotion plays a factor in any sexual assault case, because once you are accused of that, whether you're factually innocent or not, once you're accused of raping or sexually assaulting somebody, it's an uphill battle, right? Because the question always is, the question that I voir dire on, the question that jurors always have, the question that everybody always has is, why would somebody make this up? We know on the one hand that people falsely accuse people of doing things. On the other hand, why in the world would someone jump to the conclusion of, you raped and drowned my kid? So emotion, because look, this kid fact not in dispute, kid was drowned. Whether it was accidental.
No, it was drowned. The kid drowned.
The kid drowned.
Right.
That correct. Thank you for my grammar fix there.
You're right.
The kid drowned. Whether it was accidental or intentional, the kid drowned.
Correct.
How do you get to the leap of the sexual assault? Is it a bite? Is it a bruise? Is it a mark?
That's why I think there's probably too much put in the bite mark into this, and not a good enough job done by the prosecution to make sure the whole picture was told, because there's doubt and then there's reasonable doubt.
So
there's throwing spaghetti at the wall
and then there's another layer of when you're dealing with kids.
Yes. So
when I was a prosecutor, before I had my
he's way too high. He's clipping hard.
I'm sorry.
You're right.
When I was a prosecutor before I had my kid, if you would have told me that a kid touched themselves, a 3 or a 5-year-old touched themselves, I would have been like, that's weird.
Yeah.
When I had my son, I'm like, kids touch themselves all the time. They don't know what they're doing.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't mean anything.
No.
I mean, it's, and if you have a kid out there, I'm not talking about like habitually. I'm just saying it's no different than
you reel it back in. You're going down a bad path.
Yeah. My point is what was the framework that allowed this allegation to start? Did mama see something that she thought was weird? Did mama think that it was going on? Did mama know something was going on and just kind of turning a blind eye to it? What the heck was going on in this?
Right. And if you have all those things that have the on the allegation end, why is there no other evidence other than this, which was thrown up because the two quote unquote experts, who will now be called charlatans, had it thrown out?
Because our expectation, even in the 90s, is we want as much evidence as we can get, and we want to. You think true crime's bad now, dude? It's not. It wasn't any different back then. The only difference is we have a better grasp of science now.
Right.
If CSI effect is a thing, which is people watch the show and have unrealistic expectations, we actually have some fantastic scientific methodologies now.
Mm-hmm.
We got some good science. Back then in the 90s, it wasn't like it was bad science. It just wasn't as good as it is now. In 20 years from now, we're going to have even better science.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier when you were asking about junk science today. I'm like, can you imagine 30 years from now when you can, imagine the possibility that you could artificially recreate DNA on like a retail level.
Think about Celebrate. Cell phone data accumulation.
Oh.
We are utilizing cell phones now to do all sorts of, where were you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, your GPS monitoring that you didn't even know was happening. They can data dump your phone. Oh, you were at the crime scene at the time of the crime.
Mm-hmm.
Cell phone technology. We didn't have that necessarily in the 90s. Now we have that.
Right.
You know, what
and
are
30 years from now, we might be able to fake that.
I'm not saying you commit crimes. I'm just saying maybe don't take your cell phone with you when you commit the crime.
No, I know. But like what I'm saying is the possibility for misdirection is going to grow over the next 30 years.
Yeah.
And so that's where that's at.
Yeah. Always a pleasure being here. Always fun.
When it is a death sentence case, how I want to get
on
back
death
to
row for 30 years.
I know, which is a whole other problem, by the way.
Thank goodness it was a problem.
In this instance, yes. But when you've got, 53 more that are still on death row?
Well, I wish we had more time because here's the thing.
You got another minute and a half.
Here's the thing. This would be the counter argument for expediting death penalty, right? Make sure you get it right.
No, it would be. It would be.
I mean, assuming he's factually innocent. I don't know if he is or isn't.
Which is a giant assumption at this point.
Right.
A little bit less of a giant assumption, but it's still, he was never found in. He was found guilty. That guilty's been thrown out, but he's never been found innocent.
Thank God we're not Texas.
But that's my point, though. When a toddler is killed, how much do the facts weigh versus how much does
it's an emotion
mob
of crime.
mentality? We want eye for an eye here.
Sudden death of any child, whether it's SIDS or a drowning, always invokes I need to wrap my head around the fact that my kid's dead, even if it was accidental.
And the mentality becomes someone's got to go.
Yes, I need blame.
Right.
I need to assert blame.
He's attorney Franz Borghardt.
Bye,
we
guys.
do legally served at this time every week. Always appreciate you, brother. We have the top of the hour coming up in just a minute. Got to remind you about the folks over at Landmark Bank. LandmarkBankLA.com is the website. LandmarkBankLA.com is where you're going to go. Who's on the lookout for Landmark Bank? Well, if you're in the surrounding areas around Baton Rouge, if you are, let's say in Zachary, where they got started, if you're in Brewley, if you're in Clinton, Denham Springs, in fact, go to LandmarkBankLA.com. You can pull up the full list of locations over there, LandmarkBankLA.com, where you get the full list of locations. You'll also get the full list of services, whether you're talking about your personal banking, checking, savings, borrowing, want to build a new house, want to put an add-on to a house. When you have Landmark Bank, you have a banker. When you're dealing with a community bank, which is what they've been for more than 100 years, you have a relationship with someone. You shake their hand. You get to talk face-to-face with the person who is going to help you achieve your dreams in life. Personal banking, business banking, they can help you there as well. Check them out online, landmarkbankla.com. Talk 107.3 and the Baton Rouge Clinic bringing you the Dreams Come True Radiothon. Today is the last day. Today is brought to you by Duplessis Pool Builders. Get to talk1073.com to make your donation today. Every donation made within the show makes you eligible for 2 tickets to go see the Chicago Sky versus the Brazilian national team in the PMAC on Friday. Hey, Scott. I know. Hey, Rich. What?
261 people live in Springfield. 31 accused of vandalizing the school. That's 6% of the population.
That is.
That's got to be a national record. By the way, it incorporated in 1838. So at this rate, at 2-point-something people a year, they'll be at a tops of 500 in 19 and a half years. Dude, look at this.
Condon with the math.
I had to get Scott to help.
I was gonna say, shout out De La Salle.
I ain't went dirty on you. Oh my God.
No. What is that? Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Possibly.
Hey.
7:05. Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Brian here with you. John LaBeouf producing. Starting off your second hour at 70 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge. On our way up to the mid-80s before it's all said and done today. Busy hour slated this hour. We got State Representative Emily Chenevert speeding and running red lights to get over here. She texted during the break, says it's going to be a photo finish. No problem at all. We've also got Lana Venable from the Louisiana Lawsuit Abuse Watch going to be in. Let's talk frivolous lawsuits. Let's talk about, actually, we're probably going to talk about Representative Chenevert's bill more than once in this hour, because this is one of the more popular bills within this legislative session, especially when it comes to legal reform. Her comparative fault bill. It's HB 431. We'll get into all that when Representative Chenevert is here. Right now, top stories and trending.
Number 5.
Yesterday, WPRZ's chief meteorologist, Dr. Josh Each, told us the Mississippi River would crest before things got too bad, and the Army Corps of Engineers has now echoed those sentiments. They are not planning to open the Bonacera spillway due to the forecast having the Mississippi River not rising to the extent that it would require to open said spillway. According to Matt Rowe with the Army Corps, the forecasts and measurements for the Mississippi River are coming in lower than the 1.25 million cubic feet per second that would require the spillway to open. By the way, Dr. Josh told us yesterday the river's likely going to crest tonight on into tomorrow.
Number 4.
A woman was injured in a shooting on Blunt Road at Scotland Avenue yesterday evening around 6:30 p.m. This is the 600 block of Blunt Road. The shooting happened. With the shooting, the injury is non-life-threatening. Emergency officials said the woman was transported to the hospital in serious condition. That is all the information we have on that shooting.
Number 3.
Baton Rouge Metro Airport's on track for another record in passenger volume, defying national trends. Through the first 3 months of 2025, BTR's passenger traffic is up an average of 6% over last year.
Number 2.
State economic development officials yesterday announced a $17.5 billion investment in a liquefied natural gas production facility in Calcasieu Parish. Louisiana LNG should produce up to about 16.5 million metric tons of LNG per year. That's according to a statement from Woodside Energy Group. That's the group that's making the investment. LED officials said the project marks the largest single foreign direct investment in state history. We're going to talk with Clay Young about Smoke 'em if you got him at 8:15. And then right after that, we're going to take a little bit of a deeper dive into this big old announcement from yesterday.
Number 1.
Take you out to Springfield in Tangipahoa Parish, where parish school leaders have identified I'm sorry, y'all. I'm waiting for my screen to refresh. All right, let's take you out to Springfield, where parish school leaders have identified 31 people allegedly involved in a vandalism incident that left Springfield High School trashed and damaged. Officials said the incident was meant to be a, quote, prank by the 28 students who were involved, but caused disruptions to the school the next morning. Employees were first forced to clean up what they could before returning to work as normal. The students are being disciplined based on the severity of their participation. Pictures from the school showed windows smashed, graffiti covering some of the school's walls. At this time, no one's actually facing criminal charges. I said Tangipahoa Parish earlier. Livingston Parish is where Springfield is. The sheriff's office said they would yield to the disciplinary measures set forth by the school system. What's trending, John?
Well, an alleged member of the Islamic State is being questioned in Iraq after officials in that country accused him of playing a role in inciting the New Year's Day terror attack in New Orleans.
I want to find out where this is going, because this might be big.
I think so.
Like, if this guy was just a big old crazy who was acting alone, then it's sad, it's tragic. What happened. If there was networking back in with any terror organization, now you really start to have to ask what's next.
Yes.
Because this was not, if there's a connection here, if there's a plot, a conspiracy, if you will, if multiple people were combined in on this, I mean, networks won't be done. It's not like they just looked at this and said, well, we're done.
That's right.
We hit Bourbon Street at like 4 a.m. That's not, I don't know. This is bothersome. I saw it with CBS News yesterday, and then WWL down in New Orleans picked it up, and then NOLA.com picked it up, and it's starting to get a little bit of steam as far as which press outlets are covering it. But the thing is, not all press outlets are covering it yet. Which is hopeful.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
If they're staying off it because they need further confirmation, and you can't get the further confirmation, then maybe it's nothing. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to weigh both sides.
Yeah. Hey, AOC leads in several polls for the 2028 Democratic presidential nomination, showing strong support among Democratic voters.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Yes.
The representative from New York. Go for it, y'all. Do it. Just put her out there. Oh man, I'm a lifelong Republican,
right? And
you want to solidify 28 for the Republicans? Roll with it, baby. Roll with it.
Yeah. No, it's not. Bittersweet, huh?
Why?
Well, Brian,
Wait, why is it bittersweet?
I don't. Well, not for. I mean, for Democrats. I mean, right? I mean, on one hand, they have to know, like, by her. I, I, I don't know.
All
I
right.
don't want to. Yeah.
What else you got?
We have officially got a Louisiana-made hit. Sinners earned a perfect 100% Rotten Tomatoes score. So, also earning $168 million worldwide.
Really? So that $100 million
Yes.
number was U.S., huh?
Yep.
Okay.
Becoming the 7th highest grossing film of 2025. Of course,
And
leading
it's only
that
out for
charge.
2 weeks so far. So that's going to really move up the charts.
Yeah, that's another thing to note as well.
Man, I got to go see this film.
Same.
I mean, it was made here.
Yep.
And like when I say it was made here, I don't just mean like, oh, there's some shots of New Orleans or look, oh, there's, Louisiana's the backdrop. I mean, it was made here. Like there's filming in 3 different locations. The business of film.
Yes.
I don't care about the cool aspect. I don't care about what looks pretty on screen. I don't care about seeing celebrities out and about in Baton Rouge or New Orleans. I care about, is my neighbor's mortgage paid? Are there for sale signs up and down my street, or are those houses full? Are people employed? Are we retaining our best and our brightest? That's what the film tax credit does. And any effort to squash the film tax credit is the same as saying, I'm in the business of putting up for sale signs. And I'm not down with that. So when Sinners is showing that level of success on the big screen, then the rest of us can look at it, or the rest of the movie world can look at it and say, let's do business in Louisiana.
Exactly. And that's what we want, right? That's what we want.
Yeah.
We talked yesterday about the American Idol contestant. I mean, Sinners doing well in the box office. I mean, eyes are on Louisiana to say, hey, what's next?
For real.
So, which I don't know if eyes have ever been taken off of Louisiana in that aspect of the film industry, but I mean, we're proving that, hey,
The
we've got
description,
the talent here.
the description at IMDb,
Mhm.
trying to leave their troubled lives behind. Twin brothers return to their hometown to start again, only to discover that an even greater evil is waiting to welcome them back.
Yeah.
What in? All right.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
I never go to the movies. I wish I went to the movies.
Oh man.
I like the big screen. I like being
Yeah.
able to lose myself in the movie.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm not in the theater enough, and I feel like I go pretty often.
714 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. We've got State Representative Emily Chenevert coming up in our next segment. Before we take our break, though, got to remind you about the folks over at Cajun Soft Wash. CajunSoftwash.com is the website if you wanted to check them out. If you're doing a little spring cleaning inside, you get outside and you say, ooh, walls are looking pretty bad here. Whether you're talking about your home or your office building. Yes, if you're, they'll do offices as well. CajunSoftwash.com has got you covered. I never give you the phone number. I always send you to the website. And someone hit me up yesterday and said, what's the phone number? I said, you know what? I actually have to look it up. I don't have it set to memory yet, but I do now. 225, of course, 612-5998. 612-5, dang it, 612-5988. This is why CajunSoftwash.com is so easy. It's so memorable. It's right on the tip of your tongue. CajunSoftwash.com is the website. So easy. But if you want to call them, 612-5988. Mold, mildew, algae, whatever's building up on either your walls, your roof, your sidewalks, your driveway, they've got you taken care of. CajunSoftwash.com. State Representative Emily Chenevert is up next. Let me go see if she's here yet. back in and you fade the music down. She's pulling in now. 717 at Talk 107.3 FM at WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. All right, time to dive into the legislative session, y'all. We have got, we're about midway through week 3. Number of bills being passed or making their way through the process. The good old Schoolhouse Rock days, right? Of course, that was a federal process, not ours, but nonetheless, it's the same process. One of those bills that's getting a whole lot of attention is HB 431. HB 431, reading from the bill, changes the pure comparative fault system to a modified comparative fault system with a 51% bar to recovery. What does that mean? That means if you get into an accident, it's your fault, you can't sue the other side anymore. We're going to talk about this in just a minute with State Representative Emily Chenevert. Before we continue, though, I would be remiss if I didn't go back in and talk a little bit about Dreams Come True Radiothon going on right now. Today is the last day for the Dreams Come True Radiothon. Talk1073.com is where you make your donations. Every donation made during this show makes you eligible to win 2 tickets to go see the Chicago Sky take on the Brazilian national team in the Maravich Assembly Center on Friday night. Angel Reese, Haley Van Lith, back in the PMAC again. Chicago Sky taking on the Brazilian national team on Friday night. Dreams Come True Radiothon presented today by Duplessis Pool Builders. Make your donation now at talk1073.com. And I asked during the break, if you make more than one donation during the show this morning, do you have more than one entry? Answer was yes. So if you want to hop back in, just keep donating $10 over and over and over again. We'll take it. We'll take it. And your name will get in a whole bunch of times. All right. Comparative fault. What is it? How is it changing? State Representative Emily Chenevert is in with us. First of all, I can't tell you how much I appreciate the hustle.
Well, it's an honor to be here. I'm rushing in the mornings, you know what I'm saying? Dropping kids, getting everywhere.
I understand.
Hey, but we all do that, right?
And I hit the late ask on you yesterday, and it was one that I meant to ask as soon as the show was over with, and so awesome. Thank you so much for being here this morning.
Of course. Happy to talk about it today.
All right. Comparative fault. So we had Franz in last hour.
Yeah.
Talking with an attorney, and he's like, how do they determine what percentage of an accident is someone's fault? Let's start there. How do we determine comparative fault?
Look, it's a great question. So before we get into that, so the listeners understand, right now we have a pure comparative fault system in Louisiana, right?
Which means?
So basically that means that the plaintiff's right to damages may be reduced by the plaintiff's liability. Okay.
Okay.
So they're not barred from recovery. And so most people don't really understand this. Say, look, let's say there's an accident. And from when I'm talking to some colleagues and attorneys, because I always say I'm not an attorney, but I'm kind of represent a lot of people that when you start digging into this, a little bit more common sense, you're saying, okay, how does this work? A lot of them say, look, it's very rare to have a 51%, 49%. A lot of times it's 60-40, it's 70-30. And what that means is, you'll get into in talking to some good friends and in talking to some attorneys that are on house floors that, all this information is presented to the jury and presented to the courts. And so they'll sit there and they'll kind of have like a form and they'll go down and questions are asked and they're checking like, what percentage is this? Do you think that this person is at fault? What percentage did this person in the accident, who is more, at fault in this? And it's kind of added up really from a percentage standpoint. So this is a jury situation, as far as on a form. And then you look at it and say, so someone technically in the current law could be 85% at fault, 99% at fault, and still go after that 1% and get a payout off that 1%.
Right. Which is baffling to me.
It is.
And in this legislative session, look, one of my big things has been, how do we whittle away at jackpot justice? Mm-hmm. This bill to me feels like it does that. Anytime we can squash the idea of I'm getting paid, like anytime you need to be made whole, you need to be made whole. That's a different story. But when you're looking for a car accident as a source of revenue, like that's a bad thing. We need to get out of that habit.
Right. I agree. And look, it's interesting because when I brought this bill forward and I'm starting to talk to constituents and do some, whether it would be, here's some comments on social media, even at church on Sunday, people are like, look, let me tell you my story. Or they'll say, I was in a parking lot and I just brushed the side of a car that was going 4 miles an hour. And I just barely scuffed the car. Year later, I found out that now I'm in a lawsuit. And so
Right.
they're coming after like, $60,000 and nobody's injured. Nobody, like I heard story after story, a family friend like run off the road for someone his police officers at fault. Insurance companies realize who's at fault, run someone off the road for looking at social media, scrolling. Passenger in the car says, yep, the driver, I kept telling them, put their phone down, runs someone off the road. They almost hit a tree, do a spin. What does this family find out? Year and a half later, they're in a lawsuit to get that tiny percentage when it was the other person's fault. So and here's what's interesting, Brian, 34 states have a similar threshold, right? So 34 states have either 50% or 51%. This is not a unicorn. This is not something that we're making it up. That this bill is the first time this has been done. Now, it hasn't been done in Louisiana in this form, but other states are doing it. I mean, we're looking at how it's either 50% at fault or 51. My bill is 51% at fault.
Okay.
So it'd be 51. So I feel like it's common sense when it comes to creating a fair legal climate. I care a lot about that. On the House floor, the debate, it passed off the House floor along with 15, so many incredible bills, I believe that are going to help more than move the needle. I mean, we've got bills that are really coming in a way. And I just say kudos to my colleagues on the House floor. And, in every level, whether it's first termers, second termers, third termers, I mean, everyone recognizes that there's one thing that their constituents are coming at them about right now. It is insurance costs.
Of course. Yes.
I mean, and so we hear it. And I think there is a strong motivation to continue the work, both like today and just moving forward over the next few weeks. And so I'm excited because I feel like that we do have great unity. I feel like there are people that recognize what we're doing. And I hope that we keep that momentum. I believe we will. So it's really an honor to be a part of our group that in the legislature right now, in the House side too. I know, and then we're moving things to the Senate. It's a great time to be a part of our state. Of what we're doing.
Yes. And the thing, and I was talking with Governor Landry about this on Thursday, is that we might run into some roadblocks on insurance. That doesn't mean we might run into some speed bumps on insurance. We don't want them to turn into roadblocks. There are so many wins on so many fronts right now. Insurance is a problem.
Correct.
Insurance is a problem, but it's not the whole picture.
Correct.
$17.5 billion. I
was going to mention yesterday. I mean, and I think that's what we want to do is to keep that momentum going. Let's not stop on the insurance front because you're right. We have all these announcements within business. Even you're talking about the movie I just heard about. Like, I think about that.
I was supposed to mention that.
So there's a lot of things that Louisiana can offer in all aspects of industry and business, but we've got to make sure that we're looking at the local guy who has a tow truck company in rural Louisiana.
Yes.
What is working for him? And I can tell you right now, and listening to testimony after testimony, what's not working is the fact that the cost of covering their trucks is astronomical.
Well, what would work for him right now is to move his business across the state line into Mississippi and then just commute back into town.
That's right. And that's what we don't want. We want all of business and industry to stay here. And so for me, I think it's, there was a lot of discussion on the House floor, not just with my bill, but other bills. It's like, well, people have come here before and we've talked about tort reform. We've talked about this. At the end of the day, I told people, to me, this is not about trial attorneys and insurance companies. It's about people.
Right.
It's about focusing on these local businesses, small, large, that feel like they don't have a fair shot in court right now.
Right.
They're going to pay out. And that's what we're trying to fix.
Well, and the reason we need to get away from vilify, and we learned this in 2020 when we first started in the tort reform a little bit. And it was just a taste. It was just a bite of the tort reform, a small bite of the apple in the tort reform. And what we learned there was if you vilify one side versus the other, you're going to lose. If you're creating a bad guy, you are the bad guy. But now to see the tables turned to where one side is trying to vilify the insurance companies, saying they're making too much, the insurance companies are making too much money. Well, I'll remember that when I hop on the interstate and go across the bridge and I look at a heliport on top of a building. Like, that's who's heliport? And I'm not trying to single him out.
No,
he's a good guy.
Right. No, and again, it goes back to that is at the end of the day, no matter what business comes in Louisiana, they want to make a profit or they're not going to stay here.
Right.
So it doesn't matter if it's insurance, if it's manufacturing, it doesn't matter if it's a car company. The end of the day, every business that comes here, I would hope that we would want to see them succeed. And let's not forget that these companies and insurance companies, they have 49 other states, right? There's all these other states that we see companies going, more competition. I believe, when you look at this, the key to is competition.
Yes.
And I know this when it comes to commercial insurance, They don't have much competition right now. And we've got to make sure that we are doing everything we can. And so, people say, well, do we do one bill? Is it 4 bills? I'm like, let's get all these great bills off the floor. Let's get all these great bills. Let's get as much as we can signed. And let's look at some of the ones that we know are going to move the needle, but really shift a culture. I think it's a cultural thing we have in our state.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm hoping to speak into a little bit.
So 431 comparative fault, modified comparative fault has passed the full house.
That's right.
You find out today where it heads?
Potentially. Like we have to deal with the Senate side on scheduling. So it'll go into due day. We know that.
Okay.
And so
that's what I was going to ask.
Yes. And so then we have to schedule that and then that'll be a great debate. And I look forward to that. And I know there's going to be a lot of probably questions and concerns and just like anytime you're in committee, there's going to be lots of going back and forth, and it's part of the legislative process, right?
It is. But traditionally, reputationally, June Day is where great bills go to die, where we let the exception write the rule.
And look, it's a challenge, but in talking to so many colleagues too, as senators, I believe they care about their constituents, and I'm believing the best that they're going to say, look, people are all over the place on this. And I get that. We have people that feel like, well, why would we change this? Because, this may not move insurance rates because no one can say, hey, you can't guarantee me. And I said, you know what I can, what we can talk about right now is it fair when somebody is majority at fault and then they're still allowed to get a payday? So that's one issue. The other issue is we know in the state of Louisiana that we have double the minor injury claim. So more than across the country.
Okay, do that.
So
how can you do that? Can you narrow the scope down to, if you narrow the scope down to just that, you're going to win.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And so here's the thing. If people, like, you get into an accident and some people will debate and say, well, how's it going to do it? Because you're going to have to go to court anyway and figure out who's majority at fault. In the day, if I hit someone and I know that we know as humans, if we cause problems.
Yes.
And we know as humans, and if I was an attorney, which I'm not, but if someone comes to me and says, hey, this is common sense, and some people not agree with it, but say, look, I ran a red light, I slammed into this truck, I probably, it's probably my fault, but I know the laws allow me that there's probably a 10% that I can get or 20%. You're going to go try to get that.
Yeah.
If you know that we change the laws that says, hey, if you're 51% or more majority, most attorneys are probably like, hey guys, I don't know if you're going to be able to win in court. This may not work out. Like, are you going to take the case? I'm not saying they are or not an attorney. But I think it's going to cause people to just say, hey, is this the right move? Do I need to get involved in this case? And are people going to realize? And I think we just have to start that conversation and say, it's time that we make the change and get in line again with 34 other states. 4 states have a 1%.
If you're not fired up right now, what the hell is wrong with you? This was awesome.
Well, I'm
state representative
anytime.
Well, you got a stack of bills that I wanted to get to, and we only got to one of them.
We got a few more weeks left. Well, a lot more weeks left. So.
All right. Well, I'll try to hit you up when it's not carpool time. She is State Representative Emily Chenevert. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Brian. I believe in it.
Same. This is one where I didn't realize this was a thing before reading your bill. And then when I started reading up on it, and they have modified comparative fault in a lot of other places, I didn't realize, I thought you run a red light and T-bone somebody, that's it. That's your ass. But the guy who got T-boned could be somehow at fault?
It could be anything from like a light down.
Right.
They think, and it may not even be involved in the accident. You could have a long truck that say, oh, well, your orange hanging off the back of the log, it wasn't larger. And if it would have been, if you were sitting at the red light and someone was in the back of you, maybe they would have not hit you. So there's that 10%. There's that 15%. So these companies have $1 million, $2 million policies. They start suing them for too much money. They get that 10%.
I agree with you. It's so, and I know Moon likes to shit all over baby steps or taking steps forward, but you don't eat an elephant in one bite. I know you don't eat an elephant in one bite. This is an all-you-can-eat buffet at the Elephant. You and Melorine
and Glorioso has a great bill with the
okay. Does Glorioso's bill have teeth? Is there a back end?
Transparency?
Yeah.
So
it makes it look like all the information has to come out, but it doesn't determine what you have to go to.
Right. Here's the thing. Right now, because the courts cannot file law, they can't see what was actually paid out.
Right.
Which is.
I know.
When you're in a court of law, in a trial, no. be a situation where it's not, you know, it should not be in the school because of what the case. But you're literally saying, this is not, we should say, no, show everything. Here's what's good, here's what's bad. It has to be.
I know I oversimplify things with my analogies, but if I go into the store and I buy something at 50% off, and then I go to return it, I want the full price. They're going to say, no, you didn't pay full price. Why is it any different in the courtroom for that? That's and like I said, I know that's an oversimplification.
No, but you know what?
But
I think for me, being not being an attorney has helped me with this field because I sometimes think like one, and I'm willing to tackle it and research myself. But I just represent everyday people that are frustrated with this. If this is wrong, and I think that's where.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
No, I know.
They're coming hard
And
after all of this.
they're trained at arguing. That's what they do. They argue. And I know we.
My husband says I'm good at it at times because I'm so soft, I'm so stubborn. I hope that I have the gift of arguing that day, just that day.
Stay on your toes, head on a swivel. Head on a swivel.
That's right. See y'all later.
Thank you, Emily. God, she's impressive. She's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bills this session.
Oh,
And there's people that have like 10 or 12, right?
right.
But she knows what she's dialed in on, and she gets freaking dialed in.
That's what matters.
I keep remembering back to when she was first campaigning.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I don't know. Because she's a newbie to politics. And it's like,
She's really throwing herself in.
you don't know what you're going to get out of somebody when they don't have the resume behind them already.
Yep.
What I didn't realize about her when she was first running, when she first came on, was her commitment to the job.
Yeah.
And then the second time she came on, I'm like, oh shit, there's hope here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then now I'm floored. I like.
Yeah. That's awesome. Oh man.
You saw how deflated I got when she mentioned Jude.
Yeah, yeah.
That committee, man. See, what we need is like non-attorneys who can argue like attorneys. But that's like saying we need, me to go play in the NBA. It's, it's
Right.
even if I were 6'7" and could jump through the roof, I don't do it every day. They do that. They're trained in this. They argue for a living. They're here to make a better argument. They're here to make you second guess yourself and close off ideas that need to be opened up and make sure that I get better at it because I have Franz in here every week.
Right.
I've gotten better at it because of Franz. Time to get a look at your forecast. Here is WBRZ meteorologist Tim McCade Cowan.
Yeah, that was good. That went quick.
She was 5
Yeah, I
minutes
know.
late.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't get
I
started
know.
until 7:20.
I know, but still.
736 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Hour and a half left to get yourself registered to win 2 free tickets to see Angel Reese and Haley Van Lith back in the PMAC Chicago Sky, taking on the Brazilian national team. All you got to do to enter to win is go to talk1073.com and donate any amount. Donate to the Dreams Come True Radiothon. Want to donate more than once? Cool. Do it. You'll get more than one entry. Talk1073.com. Dreams Come True Radiothon ends today. We'll pick a winner before the day is out. All right. Last segment, set up this segment. Time to welcome back to the show Lana Venable with Louisiana Lawsuit Abuse Watch. Lana, how are you?
Hey, Brian. Good morning. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Please tell me you heard the last segment.
Of course I did. I can't miss Representative Chenevert.
I mean, so this bill, which was one of the bills we were supposed to talk about today, and I definitely want to, but like, how is this not 100% common sense?
Right. I mean, it should be, right? I mean, if you are at fault in an accident, you shouldn't be able to recover damages for an accident that you caused. I mean, that's just a big indicator of some of the things that are really wrong with our civil justice system as it sits now, and why we need to make change. And I want to add to something that Representative Chenevert said too. You know, she said this is really not about insurance versus trial lawyers. It's really not. It's about what's best for the people of Louisiana, and it's about fixing a system that is broken, that's out of balance, that's out of touch with what's happening in other states. And that's really what we need to do. And her bill is one great example of how we're going to get there.
We got Lana Venable from Louisiana Lawsuit Abuse Watch on with us. Let's talk about that. What are some of the other bills that are out there right now that have your eye?
Sure. Well, we had a really good day on Monday in the House, on the House floor. Had several really strong pieces of legislation passed and are now moving over to the Senate. We have a medical transparency bill. So last year there was a bill called the Collateral Source Bill by Representative Bellarine that actually was vetoed by the governor. So Representative Glorioso has brought back a very similar bill, House Bill 34, that would just allow juries to see all the information in a case that's before them. So you would be able to see not just the amount that was billed in a medical injury case, but that you would actually see the amount that was paid out in that case. So there is a delta there. There's a difference. And right now they're not allowed to see what that is in that sticker price. So that's really important. That's a big area for abuse in the system. Modified comparative fault. I think you and Emily just talked about that bill. That's a great bill again. 431. The housing presumption is another one that came up last year and that was ultimately killed in committee by Representative Bellarine, and that basically eliminates a judicially created rule in Louisiana, specific to Louisiana, that automatically assumes that if you have an injury that it was a result of an accident that you were just in, that you're filing a lawsuit in conjunction with, it doesn't take into account that could have been a pre-existing injury. So this really eliminates that automatic causal assumption, if you will, and that's House Bill 450. Several others bills that bring transparency and third-party litigation moving forward from real progress that was made last year, a general damages cap that Louisiana doesn't have. There are really a good number of bills that all passed very handily in the House, picking up multiple co-authors along the way. But Brian, the real test is going to be moving over to the Senate side. So that's where we look next.
Let's talk about that. We'll get back into the individual bills in a second, but I think a lot of us understand that, the House is doing work. When it moves over to the Senate, things tend to get tamped down a little bit. Why is that?
I wish I knew the answer to that question, but I just wanted to appeal to your listeners. If you are tired of paying the price for our off-track civil justice system in Louisiana and you want real, meaningful legal reform, we need folks to contact their senators and let them know. I mean, we hear over and over that this is the number one issue that legislators across the board are getting calls about, is the insurance crisis. But I also want to add, again, because this is not just the insurance trial bar. So the system that we have in Louisiana is operating as it's designed. So the mentality of jackpot justice that we have, the ads that you see, everything, it's all within the current system. That's one example of how it's broken. So we need to really change that system in order to change that mindset and be aligned with other states that are not in the same situation that we are in, that have much more balanced systems, that are much more fair, create an even playing field. Right now, we don't have that, so we've got to get there. We have other examples of that too, Brian. So in Louisiana, we're starting to see more what we call nuclear verdicts of $10 million or more on the rise. We've been a judicial hellhole consistently for over a decade. We've got the Plaquemines lawsuit that just was heard. That's really a bellwether for what's going to happen with the 41 other cases that are coming right behind it. And I actually heard or read a quote that case in Louisiana is now a model, not just in the United States, but internationally, for how to pursue damages against oil companies and other industries. So, in Louisiana, that's obviously our big job creator, oil and gas. But again, we just want to bring that fairness so that everyone's operating on an even playing field and our businesses are not disincentivized to come here, and that our citizens are not paying disproportionately just in their daily expenses, including insurance.
Why, as we learned earlier in the week, the oil and gas good for a good 25% of Louisiana's economy. We talked with Tommy Fauché about that yesterday. And when you start to take into account little nuggets like that, it's like, oh, is it going to remain on top like that? Is it going to remain our bread and butter if or our meat and potatoes if they can be picked apart like that? Or we have a climate to where we can pick apart, literally bite the hand that feeds us.
That's right. And I mean, and we all see it, every single day. It's really a huge disincentive to businesses. They look at a number of factors when they're coming into a state or a community, and that's one of the things they look at. And this civil justice system that we have now is very unpredictable. And the number one thing that businesses look for, of all sizes, whether you are a big oil and gas company or whether you're a logger or a trucker just trying to move your goods and services, you need that predictability, so you at least know what the playing field you're on looks like, and so that you have the opportunity to succeed. And right now, we just don't have that in Louisiana. It's really hurting us.
We got Lana Venable with Louisiana Lawsuit Abuse Watch on with us, talk about some of the bills going through the legislative session that will hopefully affect frivolous lawsuits and hopefully take a big bite out of jackpot justice as a mentality. Lana, I know I've asked you this before, and I probably ask it too often of too many people. When it comes to jackpot justice, how much can be done in the legislature, and how much do we need to rewire our own programming?
Yeah, I mean, Brian, I think this is a problem, across all fronts. And lawsuits are not economic development. I mean, they're just not. It would be great if we saw billboards that would advertise, more job opportunities and training opportunities for our people in Louisiana, and we're getting there. Yeah. We had a record announcement yesterday for a new project in Calcasieu Parish, but we're off balance. We've got that going on the one hand, and then we've got this jackpot justice mentality on the other hand. So when we get to a point where we can and are providing more real, not just job, but career opportunities for our people, I think we'll see that continue to decline. But if we're not offering anything else, that's an easy grab, right? It's an easy go-to. So we really do need, it really is become ingrained in our culture, and economic development is a huge way to begin to change that mindset. Mm-hmm. And I think we're on that path. We just have to really not think of a lawsuit as a way to winning the lawsuit lottery, if you will. It's not a substitute for a career or a fulfilling, a job. So we really need to just begin that shift by talking about these opportunities and not considering these lawsuits one of them.
And the way I look at it, Lana, and I might be wrong on this, but it seems like this legislative session is attacking it on multiple fronts when it comes to jackpot justice. The medical transparency bill can affect or could potentially affect what the actual payout is. Representative Chenevert's bill could effectively change who does and does not have a case. Representative Carver's bill, he's the one that picked up Heather Cloud's bill about the advertising. If we're not bludgeoned over the head that that getting into a car accident is economic development, if we're not bludgeoned over the head with, oh, hey, the words wreck and check, they rhyme, let's roll with that. If we can show the difference on the front end of, what's awarded versus what your take home is, we can start to take little bitty bites out of the apple individually on all fronts. And my level of curiosity here is, how do you make the whole greater than the sum of the parts?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're exactly right, Brian. I mean, this is not a change that's going to happen overnight. Everything that you just mentioned, all these bills that are moving through the legislature right now are all steps that are going to get us there. But, we have to take those steps. If we can't pass this legislation, if we don't commit to bringing this balance and this fairness back to our civil justice system, we're not going to get there. And when you look at other states like next door to us, Texas implemented significant, meaningful, comprehensive reforms decades ago. And year after year, they've been ranked number one in business development and retention. We're not there. I think we're moving in the right direction, but, we saw Georgia just pass comprehensive legal reform. Florida passed comprehensive legal reform. So, again, we're an outlier here in Louisiana, and we've just got to be bold enough to make these changes that are systemic changes that are going to take a while to resonate with our people, but eventually we will get there, but not if we don't take this first step and enact these meaningful reforms.
She is Lana Venable with Louisiana Lawsuit Abuse Watch. Anything coming up today you have your eye on specifically?
Nothing necessarily for me today. The team may, but we're just really, again, I just go back to the importance of talking to your senators and letting them know. Car insurance is obviously, I think, the biggest, most glaring system of legal system abuse in Louisiana that we're all feeling. But, we did a study last year, released a study last year that noted that every single Louisiana resident is paying a hidden, what we call a tort tax of more than $1,000, every single resident. And that comes from all these costs that are passed down to us on everything. Like when the truckers and the loggers have to move their cargo and they have to pay a higher price for insurance, that has to come from somewhere. There's no such thing as a free lunch. So all of these costs, besides just the car insurance, down to us. We may not see others after we one happening. And so we've really got to let our senators know that we really want these meaningful reforms to happen so that we can change the way that we're living and bring a better quality of life to all.
If nothing else, the conversation is continuing, and the conversation is longer and louder than it normally is at this time during a legislative session. So I feel like that's got to mean something. She's Lana Venable with Louisiana Lawsuit Abuse Watch. Always appreciate the time. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it.
Yep, absolutely. That's the fact that the conversation is still continuing, the fact that it's gaining momentum as opposed to losing momentum, I feel like we're in the we're getting somewhere. I just don't know if we have a 28-3 lead over Jude. Falcons reference. We got your money now. Can you grab me 4, 5, and 6 here? Thank you. And 7. 4, 5, 6, and 7. Oh, Lord. Oh, nothing. The Talk 1073 Spring Cha-Ching, powered by Citizens Bank and Trust, is back. Register today at talk1073.com for your chance to win $5,000 cash. It's Spring Cha-Ching from Citizens Bank and Trust and Talk 1073 FM. Also, while you're at Talk 1073 FM, the Mamo Ganger contest is now underway. Show us your best Mom and Me look-alike pics. Upload your pics now through April. Wait, today's the last day. Upload your pics by today at talk1073.com. Voting will start tomorrow. We'll announce a winner on Wednesday, May 7th. The picture with the most votes will win $1,500 in jewelry from Selassie Jewelry and Fine Gifts. Happy Mother's Day from Talk 1073. Okay. I'm still winded from Emily's segment, and then Lana was awesome. So back to back, really, really solid segments talking about frivolous lawsuits, talking about how we tighten up over the state legislature. I was talking with John during the break after, in between Representative Chenevert and Lana Venable from Louisiana Lawsuit Abuse Watch. And I asked John, I was like, man, did you just see how I deflated when Representative Chenevert said her bill's got to go through Jude? The Jude, of course, is the Senate committee, Judiciary A committee. And it covers a lot of ground, and a lot falls under it in Jude. It's made up of the committee members, per the legislative website, Greg Miller, Republican, Rick Edmonds, Republican from right here in Baton Rouge, Alan Seabaugh, Republican, Jay Luno, Sam Jenkins, Gary Carter, all Democrats. No, it's not the Gary Carter from the Mets in the 80s. And Beth Mizell, also a Republican. You get a 4-3 makeup here, which ought to sound like a win. Only problem is when you start talking about getting within the committee, big personalities can go a long way. And they can be strong, and they can strong arm. And what we've seen in the past from Jude is it's where good bills go to die. It's where the exception writes the rule. And I'm hesitant here But what I'm wondering is, will you have not just big personalities, not just strong convictions, but those who are willing to go head to head against each other and say, I don't care about everything else. This is what's important. We need to do this when it comes to insurance reform, when it comes to legal reform. So listed the 7 committee members there. If you know inside baseball, I'll let you pick apart who you think is the the loudest, the strongest, and we'll see how it plays out as it gets through it. Meanwhile, you heard the story from our news partners over at Louisiana Radio Network. This is keeping it inside the Capitol. There's a bill that would ban the sale of kratom. It was approved. It moves to the Senate floor. It's Senate Bill 154. Monroe Republican Jay Morris is the one who wrote it.
The bill is designed to protect the public and its citizens and the families of Louisiana from a substance that has caused untold damage to families and to individuals.
Per Louisiana Radio Network, David Lebrano supports the bill. He spoke to the dangers of the drug. Lebrano's son died from an apparent kratom overdose. He hopes to prevent others from experiencing this pain.
The drug is horrible, and it is available to anyone who can purchase it. All you need is money. Any gas station, head shop, anywhere.
Critics like kratom user and advocate Wednesday Forrest Bear says the ban will take away from people using the product medicinally to help manage pain.
And that's why I am so urging you to please, please do not ban this. Regulate.
Regulate would probably be the best bet here. Look, anecdotally, I've tried this product before. Didn't get a whole lot on the pain killing end. It was diminished returns, to say the least. It's 8 o'clock. Hour 3's next. One area where I have heard benefits of kratom is people who were addicted to opioids.
You say you've what now? You've seen it.
I've tried kratom before.
Oh, great! Yeah.
For pain relief in my lower back.
Yeah.
And I haven't had my back hasn't been like well. It's I live at about a 6 on the pain scale. It hurts all the time.
Yeah.
But I've there's been days in the past where I just physically could not get out of bed, could not physically move. Yep. Like if there's movement across the room, it hurts. Like not only can I not move, but everybody else has to stand still.
Yeah.
That's how and I've when my doctor prescribed me hydrocodone for my back, it worked like a champ.
Yeah.
Relieve the pain, allow me to sleep, allow my body to heal up a little bit, and I was good to go. 10 milligrams of hydrocodone, I was good to go for like a week or 2.
Okay.
And then I'd take another one and repeat the process. But hydrocodone's an opioid, so it's bad. So my doctor's like, I'm not comfortable continuing to prescribe this. And I'm like, I'm in here once a year. That's it.
Right.
Anyway, so I started looking for alternatives, and kratom was one of them. So I tried kratom, and it comes in a powder, and you mix it with water, and it tastes like ass. But first time I tried it, it was like, yes, there was some pain relief, but like mentally, there's like this mellow, almost like an edible. And the second time I used it, pain relief, mentally a mellow. Third time I used it, less pain relief and a little bit of nausea. So I ended up using everything that I had. I used the whole bag that I had ordered. And by the time it was gone on my last scoop of it, the amount of pain relief was so little that I'm like, your body adapts to things and there's a natural diminishing returns.
Sure.
So I walked the path. I tried it out and but what I've heard is for people who are addicted to painkillers, they're able to take kratom, and that mellow that I'm talking about is apparently triggering the same sensors that the Oxycontin triggers or whatever.
Fascinating.
No, anybody in the chat ever tried it before?
Galen says, my doctor recently told me that Ozempic and similar drugs may be beneficial at reducing cravings for addicts.
Well, it reduces cravings for food.
Yeah, for sure. Which in and of itself can be an addiction. So
We're going to find out at one point. We're going to find out that all the Ozempics and the GLP-1 drugs and whatnot, there's going to be something bad there. There's going to be something where it can't all be peaches and roses. I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop.
In time, I'm sure. Renee says it's so expensive to go to the theater. Oh, I guess because of the movies earlier.
And do what? Oh, yeah.
Not if you go on Tuesdays at Movie Tavern. It's like $6.
Okay, you went to Movie Tavern?
Mm-hmm. But then I also have AMC. It's $5 on Tuesdays.
Is there a restaurant inside Movie Tavern called Mr. Beast Burgers?
I don't know. No, I don't think so. But a Mr. Beast burger may be available because you can get burgers there.
Okay, my son loves Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
And I had heard that Mr. Beast had restaurants.
Yeah.
And Movie Tavern, if you pull up your Apple map or Google map, Movie Tavern shows there's a Mr. Beast burger inside there.
I would not doubt it. Yeah.
And
They
I'm
do
like,
a bunch of stuff for kids.
do you need to go to the movies to go to the restaurant?
No. There's a bar area that's separate from that. So I don't.
And are you getting movie prices on your burger if you go there? Like,
that's a good question. But I would think no, because it's separate. Because the bar,
like, I'll pay $10 for a cheeseburger for my 8-year-old son, but I won't pay $15.
And they have a cool little area. They do a lot for like kids and stuff. They have like a movie bundle that you pay like one price, and they have movies throughout the summer that you can go. And I think I'm gonna sign my daughters up for that, or pay for it for my daughters because I love the theater. Man.
I had something in my throat, and it's not like, I know as soon as I start talking, I'm just going to start coughing like a madman. 806 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Hour 3 coming your way right now. Brian here with you, John LaBeouf producing, getting you ready for a busy, busy hour. Big announcement made yesterday. $17.5 billion investment into LNG in the southwestern portion of the state. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. Before we do that, though, we're going to talk with Clay Young. It's time, y'all. Coming up this weekend, smoke 'em if you got 'em. Smoke'emBR.com is the website if you want to get a jump start on this. Smoke'emBR.com. We got Clay coming up in our next segment. We will break down what Smoke 'em is if you're not familiar. It's not new. I mean, he's been doing this for some time now. And the event itself is coming up on Sunday at Beausoleil. Tickets are available right now at Smoke'emBR.com. Clay will give you all the details in our next segment. Also this hour, Laura Siu Nguyen's going to join us. Night Market BR is coming up. Want to talk about that on this front. What is in store for this year's Night Market? Laura Siu is going to join us to break that down. Now, before we get to any of that, we got to get to, whoa. Today's the last day for the Dreams Come True Radiothon. Today is brought to you by Duplessis Pool Builders. Of course, we teamed up with the Baton Rouge Clinic for the Dreams Come True Radiothon. All donations made during this show make you eligible to win 2 free tickets to go see the Chicago Sky versus the Brazilian national team. That is Friday night in the Maravich Assembly Center. Angel Reese, Haley Van Lith, they are back in the PMAC. You want to enter to win tickets, make your donation now at talk1073.com. And by the way, if you make more than one, you're entered to win more than one time. So talk1073.com. All right. This day in history. Let's go.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Beginning in 1789, George Washington is inaugurated as the first president of the U.S. at Federal Hall.
Put his hand on the Bible.
That's
Said,
it.
I, George Herbert Walker Washington. No.
I like that. You got the full name.
Okay. I, George Delano Washington. No, I'm getting too many wrong middle names for presidents.
Oh, man.
What else
Hey,
happened?
1803. Chancellor Robert Livingston and James Monroe signed Louisiana Purchase Treaty in Paris at a cost of $15 million.
Pretty decent buy right there.
Oh, yeah.
It's good value.
And then in 1812, Louisiana admitted as the 18th U.S. state.
Love it. That was today?
Yeah.
That was
Oh,
today?
Yeah. 1812. Today.
Awesome.
Heck yeah. 1939, FDR becomes the first president, U.S. president to appear on TV. Fascinating, right?
Yeah.
1939.
Right. You're just trying to map out in your head what he might have been on.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't remember that episode of the A-Team.
1945, Adolf Hitler commits suicide along with his new wife, Eva Braun?
Eva Braun. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah, they didn't pack up and move to Argentina at all, did they? No.
Not at all.
No, if you believe conspiracy theories and watch the History Channel at all. If you ever watched the History Channel, I don't know. I've watched the History Channel in a while. But they were on a good Nazi run for a little while.
Yes. History Channel takes a dark turn around after 10 p.m.
Yeah.
It just, it's insane.
On our previous episode of Chasing Hitler.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, man. 1952, Mr. Potato Head is the first toy advertised on television.
I don't remember that episode of the A-Team.
Yeah.
See, that was a little callback.
I see that. See that. 74, U.S. President Richard Nixon hands over partial transcripts of Watergate tape recordings.
Richard Herbert Walker Nixon.
Whoa.
Just keep moving. I'm gonna ruin it.
1989, World Wide Web is first launched in the public domain.
Really?
Yeah.
What year you said?
1989.
1989.
Yep.
Okay.
Anything else on this day?
No.
Okay.
No. Everything else I've got is birthdays.
Beginning with what was he born in 33? Willie Nelson here. Man. No joke. Yeah, 1933. Oh, Willie Nelson today.
I mean, you want to talk about the benefits of.
Man, we talk about all this history, and I'm like, he was alive for most of this.
Yeah. Wait. FDR was on TV in 1939.
That's what I'm looking at.
Okay. It's possible
to
that Willie Nelson watched Franklin Roosevelt on television.
As the first president to come on television, Willie Nelson's a kid. Like, okay.
He turned for his 6th birthday.
Yeah.
On his 6th birthday, Willie Nelson sat down in front of a TV and watched Franklin Delano Roosevelt in a very special episode of CSI Miami.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, man. Who else we got today?
For birthdays, who else you got?
Look at that. We got Burt Young.
There's a whole bunch.
Paulie from Rocky.
Oh, man.
Hey, yo, Paulie.
Yeah, but you need a Paulie. You need a Paulie impression instead.
I know. I can't do it.
All right. Who else?
Al Lewis. Look at this guy.
Who's Al Lewis?
Al Lewis. He played the grandpa in the Munsters.
Oh, very nice.
Who else you got over there?
A couple of sports birthdays today. First of all, our very own, and when I say our very own, I don't just mean LSU, but Baton Rouge in general. Jerry Stovall, born on this day in 1941. He missed out on Franklin Roosevelt by 2 years. Born on this day in 1961. Isaiah Thomas, born on this day in 1963. Al Toon, former Jets wide receiver. And born on this day in 1985, former LSU basketball player, former Celtics and Magic forward. That would be Brandon Bass.
Okay. Moving on to deaths here.
Hitler.
Well, allegedly Hitler. Muddy Waters as well.
Okay. Let's go.
See. I don't know. Yeah, that's pretty much notable names. Everyone else is.
Nobody else you got here?
I mean, what about Bessie Coleman?
I don't know who that is.
Right? Exactly. American aviator known for achieving significant milestones in aviation. She was the first African American and Native American woman to obtain a pilot license and the earliest identified Black individual to secure an international pilot's license.
That was definitely worth learning about.
Absolutely, yeah.
Why not?
I like that.
National days?
Mr. Potato Head Day.
I'll take it. I'll take it and run, man. Mr. Potato Head. Sitting over there in the Jew Day Committee in the Senate. Mr. Potato Head. Not naming names. 814 Talk 107.3 FM. We are due up for a quick break. When we come back, we got Clay Young talking Smoke'emBR.com next.
Byron says, I think we should all take a moment and thank Al Gore for inventing the internet on this day.
Yep. Absolutely. How long is this break?
This break's only like 2 minutes. He calling in, right?
Yeah. Okay. Here. 'cause I could have gone where I needed to go. I need to go to my car. I've got a piece of Tupperware in my trunk that belongs to my 835 guest. No, I can't at this point. We're back in now. I go to my office to get my keys. And then out to the parking lot to my car. I can't make that under a minute. I'll go when we hit news at the bottom of the hour. Do I?
I believe in you. No, I thought you had your keys on you. I thought it was just a quick. Okay. Yeah, that changes everything.
I hate having things in my pockets.
Yeah. That's everything.
So I've got a little bowl. I've got a little bowl on my desk that I put my keys in.
Yeah.
Oh, Nelly. Yeah, give him a call, please. Eight 817 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. We're going to connect with Clay Young here in just a second. Does give me a minute to remind you about the folks over at Vex European, VEX. V is in Vinny. VexEuropean.com is the website. In real life, they've been doing business for more than a decade now, celebrating their 10th year in business. Vinny and his team over at Vex European, they specialize in European vehicles. So if you drive a Mercedes, a BMW, you drive a Jaguar, if you drive a Land Rover, if you're like Clay Young and you own 3 Lamborghinis, Vex European is your outlet right here. They're on the backside of Industrialplex on Benefit Drive. Check them out at vexeuropean.com. You can make your appointment right from the website. But before you do, hit that little specials tab. If you've never been over there before, you could save $100 on your first visit at vexeuropean.com. All right, joining us now is Clay Young. How are you, sir?
That's pretty funny. I'm doing well.
Why did you pare down to just 2 Lamborghinis now?
Well, absolutely, man. Tough times.
I understand. Tariffs, right?
Yes, tariffs.
Yeah.
That's right.
Smoke them if you
going
got
on?
them coming up on Sunday. Are you ready?
I am, man. This is number 11, the 12th year since we started skipping the COVID year. How about that, huh?
That's pretty incredible. Grown every year. It's a successful event every year. And every year the money's going to an unbelievable cause.
Yep.
Tell us all about where the good money from Smoke 'em if you got 'em is going.
Well, Smoke 'em is going to the Special Forces Charitable Trust. They support Special Forces and their families here in the country. They've been the beneficiary of the event for the last few years. This is likely the last year for them, and we'll be moving on to another organization next year. But they get 100% of the dollars raised at Smoke 'em.
All right. For those that want to go to Smoke 'em, what do they get when they get to Beausoleil on Sunday?
Oh, man. When you get to Beausoleil, if you are so inclined, you get a fine premium cigar. You get to have a meal. You get to be a part of a bourbon and whiskey tasting. That's a part of it. There's also a live and silent auction. And Brian, this year we're doing something a little bit different. If you go to smokeembr.com, you can buy your ticket there, but you can also get a glimpse at some of the auction items that are available. And that list is extending right now. Our DA, Hiller Moore, who's been great and a great partner with me in doing this the last few years, has pulled together a bunch of great auction items. Some of them are going up on the website today. Others will be out there on Sunday. And so, man, it'll be a great time. And we are also honoring a local veteran who has an amazing story from his experience in Iraq. I don't want to give a whole lot away, but I'm telling you, there won't be a dry eye in the house when he tells his story and you potentially see video of what happened to him when he was overseas.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, see, that is what we call in the business a compelling tease.
Yes, it is. When I saw it, it was like something out of a Michael Bay movie. That's all I'll tell you. And the fact that he's still here to talk about it and to be honored by us is an amazing thing. And like I said, he's one of us. He's a local guy. And we're looking forward to it, man. It's going to be a really, really great event. And we're expecting great weather on Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday should be awesome. And Beausoleil, you have that indoor-outdoor option right there. So,
right.
yeah, I mean, covered patio, but Beausoleil is pretty darn fantastic. So with Beausoleil, you know you're getting a fantastic meal.
Yep.
With Smoke 'em, you know you're getting a fantastic cigar. Are there selections between the cigars, or everybody gets the same?
Oh, so when you come in, Christoph is the signature cigar of the event, but Don Juan Cigar Company will be there with a selection of other cigars for you. And look, let me shout out Don Juan. Let me obviously Guarantee Media, who's been our partner in this event the last 10 years, and Mockler Beverage, our presenting sponsor, Pestop, who's been amazing in the process with us, and obviously Beausoleil and my team. It's one of my favorite things to do every year, Brian, and it's a really fun time. Don't come dressed up. Think of it as a big tailgate party where you get to enjoy cigars or not, but you also celebrate our veterans and first responders.
Smokeembr.com is the website. You can buy tickets right from the website. Can you also buy tickets at the door? I would recommend going to the website first, but can you get them at the door?
You can get tickets at the door, but if you go to the website, like I said, you can also sign in. And one of the things that we're doing with the auction this year is we're allowing people to, when they come in, sign up for the auction, and you'll be able to get updates on items you're bidding on your phone. And I'm telling you, we got some stuff you're going to want to bid on, man. And if you go to the website, you'll see what I mean. One of them in particular is going to be really popular here, but it's smokeembr.com.
Smokeembr.com. May 4th, that is this Sunday. I love the eagle with the cigar in his mouth, in his beak. That's so nice. The strong little claws poking out from the bottom as well.
That's right.
It's coming up this Sunday, and of course, everything, all the dollars going to the Special Forces Charitable Trust. You want to read up on them, you could do that as well. It is an outstanding event, one of the top-notch calendar it's one of those put them on your calendar event in Baton Rouge. He is Clay Young. Man, I always appreciate the time.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you and all you do for us, Brian. Keep up the great work.
Will do. Absolutely. Thank you very much. And we'll have Hiller Moore back on tomorrow. Hiller was on yesterday. He had the sheriff in tow. Well, he had the sheriff on the hotline, and he had the mayor in tow. So we had Sid Edwards in studio, Sid Gotro on the phone, and we were talking about Smoke'em during that segment. Because when you talk about, I don't want to get like too wrapped up. Like Clay Young has put so much into this. So like Clay's longtime Baton Rouge broadcaster, way better at this job than I'll ever be, right? But if you've crossed paths with Clay, you know you have a relationship for the rest of your life. He's just that kind of dude. And when he puts his heart and soul in something, it's hard for me not to put my heart and soul into the same thing. So when going around the room yesterday and talking with Sheriff Gotro and Mayor Edwards and District Attorney Hiller Moore about why they've bought in on Smoke'emBR.com, on Smoke'em if you got them, and Clay's event, it echoes the sentiments. The heart's in the right place, the action is in the right place, and the dollars end up in the right place as well. So if you get the chance, Smoke'emBR.com. While we're talking about dollars going to the right place, I want to remind you one more time. Not true. I'll remind you again before we're done. Talk 107.3 in the Baton Rouge Clinic, bringing you the Dreams Come True Radiothon. This is an organization designed to help grant dreams for children with life-threatening illnesses and their families. Today is brought to you by Duplessis Pool Builders. Donate at talk1073.com. Today is the last day of the Radiothon, and all entries, all donations made via talk1073.com within the time frame of the show. So from 6 o'clock this morning until another 35 minutes from right now, you make a donation, you are entered to win 2 tickets to go see the Chicago Sky. Angel Reese, Haley Van Lith, going to be back in the Maravich Assembly Center on Friday night, taking on the Brazilian national team. And you can enter to win at talk1073.com simply by making a donation to an already great cause. We've got Laura Sue coming up in just a minute. We're going to talk Night Market BR is just about back. Can't wait to dive in on this. But before that, big announcement made yesterday. Big announcement from Governor Landry. Economic development project coming to Southwest Louisiana. You got the Woodside 1 through 3? All right. Big announcement made. Governor Landry making said announcement. Woodside
Energy, who has been a great partner here in the United States for decades now, is going to announce a $17.5 billion investment in this state and build a brand new LNG facility out in Southwest Louisiana.
Oh, Jeff. Spoilers. And now he's not going to announce. You just announced it. I don't blame him, because Jeff Landry and the economic development team under Susan Bourgeois that they've put together have been doing work, y'all. Announcement after announcement after announcement. We had the Hyundai announcement. We had the other announcement coming to the Riverport Megaplex. I'm always going to get that name wrong. The Googleplex on the river in Donaldsonville. So Woodside Energy, if you're curious, an Australian-based company. They're going to Calcasieu Parish. This is the largest single foreign direct investment in the state's history. It's also the first greenfield LNG export facility to advance since President Trump rolled back the Biden administration's pause on LNG export permits. Daniel Collins is the executive vice president over there at Woodside Energy. He says he's proud the company is making such a huge investment right here.
The $17.5 billion investment we've announced for Louisiana LNG will be one of the largest single greenfield investments in the state and one of the largest in the U.S. energy sector this year.
I love the global implications here. I mean, when you saw President Trump, Governor Landry lined up with the leaders of Hyundai, I mean, Korea's coming to Louisiana. Now you got Woodside Energy. Australia's coming to Louisiana in the form of more than just a punter. To see the world converge here, this is what we've been after for so long now. So huge shout out to the governor and Susan Bourgeois' team on this win. Governor Landry says the project's going to create about 15,000 jobs during construction, 1,000 more once the facility's up and running.
Every time these projects come to Louisiana, every time we announce these numbers, this gives the people of our state the ability to have their incomes raised.
So you got Hyundai, you got Meta, you got a handful of other announcements. Another data center up by St. Francis, Phil. It's continuing this. The continuation of this is just a great thing. Do we have time to get into the other part on? You heard it in Louisiana in news from LRN at the bottom of the hour, last hour. Senator Cassidy talking about the $17.5 billion investment. The senator says that the plot of land, he's looking forward to the jobs coming to town too.
Right now, it just looks like a green field, and they are going to create 15,000 jobs during construction and 1,000 more direct jobs per year once operational.
This is one of those things that, and I mentioned it when Representative Chenevert was in, the conversation we had last Thursday with Governor Landry, is that, yeah, the gloves are off right now and we're knuckle fighting over insurance. And that's fine, because there's a lot that needs to be fixed and there's differing ideas on how to fix it. But I don't want speed bumps to be roadblocks. When you zoom out and take a look at what's going on in Louisiana right now, more jobs than we had when COVID hit. We have returned to that level. Education is skyrocketing right now. Dr. Brumley is just kicking ass and taking names. Susan Bourgeois, every time you turn around, win after win. We're number one at the box office, for crying out loud. It's just a good time. Good time to be on the right path in Louisiana. My dear. All right, you're here. I have to run up to my office real quick. I will be back in 1 second.
I am live, huh? I'm in live on Facebook?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Amazing. Got him this, and then I'm here, right? Oh my God. Yes.
Been in the trunk of my car for over a year.
Oh my God. Really?
When did you become a citizen?
I became a citizen back in 2023.
I've been carrying that thing around for 2 years.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
This is how you know me and you are really good friends.
I know. So.
And you're coming, right?
A party to celebrate her citizenship, and insisted on sending me home with a Tupperware full of banana pudding.
Let me tell you. In Asian households, to-go boxes is a must. You do not leave my house without food.
I understand, and I know that full well.
Oh yes.
So.
For sure. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I even brought you.
Thank you so much.
Posters and
Yep.
stuff. You're coming? You're coming, right?
When is it? It's May
10th.
Yes.
Saturday.
Yes.
You should come too.
Oh shit. There's only one thing that could stand in my way, and that's my daughter's AAU schedule. So.
Oh.
Yeah, she's traveling with basketball now.
Oh, okay.
So let's see if we're in town that week.
Oh my God, please. Yes, yes, yes.
What the hell's the schedule at? No, that's not it. Delete. Hilliard, I need to save that number. What the hell? Nope.
They send you the schedule. Oh, they sent you the schedule, but you're trying to find it.
Yeah, I took a picture of the schedule.
Ah.
And then handed it off to. You know, I need to delete pictures on a regular basis. I got too much shit in here.
I hear you.
It was before this. It was before this. Definitely before that.
If you click the search.
Ah!
You found it?
Yes. May 10th?
Yes. Yes. Amazing. Okay, I'm stoked.
Same. All right, time to get a look at your forecast, and here's what we've got going on right now. A high of 86 today, partly cloudy skies. There is listed as a 10% chance of rain, but that's not going to happen. Tomorrow we're going to get up to 87 with a 20% chance of rain. Now, Friday and Saturday are where we have to look out here. We got a 50-50 shot at rain both days. We're really, really hoping that dissipates because Our Lady of Mercy Fair this weekend. St. Thomas More Fair this weekend. St. Alphonsus Fair this weekend. So whatever we need to do, get out the matchsticks and salt. Let's make the rain go away, at least until next week rolls in. Now, that being said, your high on Friday, 87. Your high on Saturday, just 77. Getting back up to 81 on Sunday. Right now, it's clear skies, 75 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge. 8:38. Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Coming up on May 10th, a fantastic event is on the way back.
Yes.
Night Market Baton Rouge, welcoming back to the studio, Laura Siu Nguyen. How are you, dear?
Thank you so much for inviting me, Brian.
Always.
I'm good.
I've never told you no in my life, and I'm not about to start now.
Good to know.
Okay, for those who are unfamiliar, Night Market is what?
Night Market BTR is this is our third year doing this festival,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a festival that just highlights Asian American culture, especially
Mm-hmm.
here in the Baton Rouge area.
When you say Asian American culture, that can cover a lot of ground here. So let's
Correct.
broaden things out and talk about all the individual, like what contributes to Asian American culture.
Yeah, absolutely. So Night Market BTR this year is going to be celebrating Asian American Heritage Month. So we're talking about like different restaurants in town that are celebrating like, Chinese culture, like Korean cuisines, like a lot of different like a lot of different restaurants here in town.
Okay. And along with the restaurants, there's other things as well, right?
Yes, correct. So
Okay.
we have a lot of partnerships. We have Breck on the Go coming in. We have the East Baton Rouge Library, so we always bring them in. And we also have a couple of art vendors that are coming in that are debuting as well at Night Market.
The concept of Night Market, what brought it to Baton Rouge in the first place?
Yes, so I actually traveled with my husband Kenny, and we went to California for 626 Night Market. And basically, night markets are happening all across the U.S.
Okay.
But when we went over there, we were like, wait, this is so cool. Why are we not bringing this to Baton Rouge? So that we took like inspiration from that idea and we created Night Market BTR in order for us to be able to see, hey, do you think like if we do this small festival, a lot of people will be interested in it? And then we ended up with a lot of people wanting it. So we keep growing. We keep getting more space. We provide more parking. We extend the time. We have more vendors. So this year is going to be the biggest one yet.
State Capitol Drive?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the third year. It hasn't been the same location yet, has it?
No.
Because it keeps getting bigger.
Keeps getting bigger. So the first time was at Electric Depot. The second year was Roar Plaza next to like the old state capitol. And this one is going to be in front of the state capitol by Spanish Town Road and 4th Street.
Very cool stuff. Okay, so without naming all the restaurants, because I'm sure you don't want to forget any, but give us an idea of how many we're looking at here.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have 38 food vendors.
Good night.
Yes. So when you come to the festival, you get an opportunity for you to try 38 food vendors that are providing like 3 to 4 menu items that you can like
accepted.
That you can like pick and purchase, and you can try a lot of them. We actually do have a Night Market BTR challenge that if you try all 38 food vendors, like you get an opportunity to win a big price. Which honestly I haven't seen anybody like try 38. And then we also have like 14 to 15 art vendors that are coming in, debuting their items, and a lot of them are like super excited to be there.
Music,
yes, we have a lot of entertainment. We actually have like 2 DJs. We have fan dances. We have a Laotian dancer, and then we have the Southern Lotus Lion Dance with the Lion Dance. So usually their performances are only 20 minutes. This time around, they're doing it for an hour. So
good Lord.
Yeah. So basically what they're doing is they're coming in from like 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. They're coming in and they're doing like 6 new routines. So they've never done it before. They're coming in with the routines, and because the state capitol is just right there,
right?
Like you're going to go like all the way down.
Okay.
And then come back. And it's just going to be so incredible to see it, especially at night.
So I've seen a sample of that.
Yes.
That is athletic.
Oh yes, very.
Like that when you say to go from 20 minutes to an hour, that's a workout.
Yes, absolutely. And let me tell you the cool thing about Night Market. This year we're charging tickets, so it's $5. A percentage of that that ticket sale goes to Southern Lotus Lion Dance. I personally did not know they're a nonprofit. So I was when they told me about like these are high school students that are performing, that
that explains the energy.
Yes. So they have like they're high school students, they come in and they train. So they train for a whole year, and then they perform during like Lunar New Year, Asian American Heritage Month, and they use the lion dances for like big celebrations, like grand openings. So when I heard that they were a nonprofit, it was a no-brainer for me. Like, as you know, I'm a big festival like lady.
Yes, you are.
So I wanted to give a percentage of those proceeds from the ticket sales to them back. And that is going to provide scholarships for these high school students to go to college.
Okay. Let's go.
Yes.
Because I mean, what you're doing here is you are fostering the growth.
Yes.
To make sure this is sustainable and long term,
For
and
sure.
not just a one-off festival here. We've got Laura Siu Nguyen with us talking about Night Market BTR. Nightmarketbtr.com is the website. You can purchase. You said $5 for the ticket.
Yes, it's $5 for the tickets.
Crazy when you talk about the food. The food alone.
Yeah,
And then when you added the entertainment in on top of that, you said 2 DJs.
Yes.
All right. So for those who are unfamiliar, what are they going to hear?
Oh my gosh, they have a variety. So we have DJ Sean, and then he is basically kicking the festival off, and then he has a lot of like really mixed like pop music and some K-pop that he's gonna implement. And then my other friend, his name is Andy. He was actually at my wedding, and he actually he's an EDM
Let's
DJ.
go.
So
Let's
basically, he has all the vibes. He has opened for big artists like Arm & Hammer, and he is coming in with like his whole set, coming in from Dallas, and he is going to be performing for like 45 minutes here at Night Market BTR.
Very, very cool stuff. Let's talk about the Asian culture in Baton Rouge as a whole. Let's kind of zoom out a little bit, broaden out and talk, because this is something that I don't think gets pieced together regularly as like an Asian culture. Like in Baton Rouge, we're LSU, we're Southern, we're the state capital.
Right.
Where's y'all's niche? Where do y'all fit in, and how do you grow here?
So I think one of the things that I wanted to do, like especially like here in the Baton Rouge area, is that I wanted to like mostly highlight and spotlight like Asian American like owners or individuals who really want to like expand. Most of the times, a lot in Asian cultures, we're always told like, oh, you have to be like a very specific like career, right? You're either going to be a doctor, an attorney, or like an engineer. And for me, it was more like, no, like like there's a lot of people, especially in a night market, that have found their like their passion, right? They have a passion for food, have a passion for cooking, and we wanted to break the stereotype of like, hey, we're not just doing those careers, we actually want to experiment a lot of different things. So with Night Market BTR, one of the things that I challenge my vendors is like, hey, if you have an idea, let's bring it to Night Market BTR. This is a platform. I want to give you a platform for you to like, bring this to the community and try it out. We do have a success story of Oni 225. They're actually a pop-up out here, and they are very successful. They debuted last year at Night Market, and now they're coming back, and they've been doing pop-ups since then.
Very, very cool stuff. I got just a couple minutes left with Laura talking about Night Market Baton Rouge. Nightmarketbtr.com is the website, coming up on May 10th on State Capitol Drive, 3 to 9 p.m. So a hot part of the day is gone, and you will actually go into the night at the night market.
Oh, for sure.
When talking about it's hard to not, it's almost impossible to separate the Asian community in Baton Rouge from the American dream.
Yes.
I mean, it is the like the textbook definition of locate, work hard, assimilate, but don't lose who you are.
Right.
Did I mention work hard? Because,
yes.
And so we just had new neighbors move in just across the street. And like, we never see each other because we're always working.
Right.
But when we do, it's like it's the friendliest of friendliest for the right kind of neighbor, the kind of neighbor who has an eye out for you, but not a nose in your business type of neighbor,
Right.
So, but numbers wise, like when you look at Baton Rouge versus say other cities our size, do we have? I mean, are numbers of an Asian population about where you would expect?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, let me tell you, Brian, like when I started this night market, I was like, I do not know if we have like a big Asian community to actually like,
To
bring
fill it?
night market.
Yeah.
Then last year I was expecting like 5,000 people. We ended up with 10,570. And a lot of them were like a lot of like Asian communities coming out.
Oh, yeah, I didn't go I went to the Electric Depot 2 years. I didn't go last year.
No, last year it was huge. So imagine this, like we have vendors and individuals, like I'm looking at the ticket sales and I'm looking at the data. We have people coming from Lafayette, Breaux Bridge, like New Orleans and Houston. So you can see like a lot of people like gathering together for this specific night market.
Wow. Okay. I didn't realize it was that big. Because when you're saying like a portion of a $5 ticket is going towards a scholarship, I'm like, how big can that be? But when you start to talk about the numbers, oh my goodness.
Also, another thing to mention that you also mentioned about the Asian culture. Today, actually, April 30th is the fall of Saigon, which is basically 50 years ago.
Where was that in this day in history, John?
So I just wanted to add that,
Um,
especially for our Vietnamese communities that are
Mhm.
listening here today. Like today is the Phao Saigon is a very commemorative day, just because like a lot of people left Vietnam to come over here.
Yeah. And I always wonder how folks land in Baton Rouge. Like, why here? Like, if you're somewhere else around the world, you hear about New York, you hear about Los Angeles, you hear about the big cities. Like, how do you end up in Baton Rouge?
Let me tell you, Brian, I always ask myself that question. And a lot of people are always asking me, like, Laura, like, you're very ambitious. Like, why Baton Rouge?
Yeah.
And for me, it's like the community. It's like we have a very friendly, like, state that, like, everybody around, like, everybody that I see, they're just, like, super friendly and they're, like, friends. So I think, like, just having that
Well,
southern hospitality.
to be fair, like you and Kenny are awesome though. So like it's a little bit easier because that's a two-way street. So for the folks going out, you mentioned of the Asian community going out. This is open to everybody.
Yes,
I mean
open to
absolutely everybody. And 38 food vendors. You got entertainment going on into the evening. Nightmarketbtr.com is the website. Get your tickets now before it rolls up on May 10th.
Yes.
Or, thank you so much for the time.
No, thank you so much for having me.
Always. Coming up on 8:50 at Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Ask how people get to Baton Rouge. How about through the airport? Flybtr.com. There's my segue. Flybtr.com is the website. Daily flights to and from Washington, D.C., going right into Reagan National, right into the heart of Washington, D.C., not Dulles, where you need like a 2-hour Uber ride to get back into the city. That's an exaggeration. But you're flying into Reagan National at 7 o'clock hour in the morning. You're coming home the same evening. And that's not all they've got at flybtr.com. All the offerings of the airport are over at flybtr.com. And when you talk about using the Baton Rouge Metro Airport, what you talk about here is supporting a local business. Yes, you can weigh the pros and cons up and down of do you want to drive an hour down the road? Or do you want to pay for all that parking? Do you want to deal with that hassle? Or do you want to handle things locally at flybtr.com? Awesome sauce.
Woo! Look at us.
Thank you so much.
You need to come find me. I'll give you like some Laura bucks.
Laura bucks.
Oh my gosh! Did I show you what I'm doing? So I have so we do have like a tent that like I consider like VIP.
Okay.
And then basically we have like a lot of like different community members coming that I'm inviting, and my graphic designer Victoria, she created Laura bucks, which basically I'm giving it to a couple of people that are coming. It has my face.
Oh my word.
Has my face, and it says Nori Market BTR buck. And then basically I'll give you $1 or a couple dollars, and then you can go spend it at the vendors. Just to support.
What do the tickets buy?
Entrance.
Okay.
So it's just we wanted to make it like wait, am I live?
We're actually we're on Facebook. Yeah.
Oh. Yes, please. Okay, what I'm saying is
That girl is bottled energy, and I love it.
Yeah, indeed.
Hmm. .856 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Got 4 minutes left to get your donation in if you wanted to hit up the Dreams Come True Radiothon. Actually, you got all day to get your donation in, but if you wanted to be entered to win 2 tickets to go see the Chicago Sky versus the Brazilian national team on Friday night at the Maravich Assembly Center, that's open for another couple minutes. But Dreams Come True Radiothon, today's sponsor of the Dreams Come True Radiothon is Duplessis Pool Builders. Make your donation at talk1073.com. We got enough time. We're going to hit the outside in. Let's go. We're going to start off at Tangipahoa Parish. A man was arrested after the sheriff's office SWAT team searched his residence and seized multiple firearms and drugs. 49-year-old Tally's White was booked after everything was found and reported stolen alongside large bags of marijuana, numerous pills, bottles of promethazine, and a bag of suspected ecstasy pills. Heading over to West Baton Rouge, a person was taken into custody after leading deputies on a chase through the parish. Sheriff's office said deputies spotted a stolen car along Highway 1 near American Way around 4 p.m. When they tried to stop the car, the driver took off northbound. Officials said a juvenile passenger exited the vehicle during the chase. He was secured by deputies. The driver continued, hit an unmarked sheriff's department car while they were trying to avoid spike strips. Head over to New Orleans from there. High river levels caused 6 barges to break loose, 1 barge to sink, and halted river traffic near New Orleans. This was on Sunday night. U.S. Coast Guard officials said that there were no reported injuries, wildlife impacts, nor shoreline damage. The incident occurred around 9:20 on Sunday night near mile marker 110 when a Panamanian flagged Isla de Bioko collided with the U.S. flag towing vessel Jenny Stone. That, according to a news release from the Coast Guard, just another example of the high water in the river right now doing damage. Now, kind of the outside in, but we're going to pivot over to another press release we got here. This is going to be a bigger story as the week wears on. The press release was actually dated April 25th. Get ready to hear about the Magnolia Ridge Logistics Park. They are set to break ground on May 22nd of this year. There will be a groundbreaking ceremony on May 22nd for the Magnolia Ridge Logistics Park. This is going to be in Geismar, Louisiana, and this is another example of the trickle-down effects of all the economic development announcements that we keep hearing. Magnolia Ridge Logistics Park is going to feature 18 industrial lots ranging from 2 to 20 acres apiece. Quoting from the press release, purpose-built for distribution centers, light manufacturing, and industrial laydown areas. Strategically located in the heart of Ascension Parish's industrial corridor, the park is designed to support both the industrial network along the Mississippi River and the bulk distribution needs of the Baton Rouge and New Orleans metro areas. I'm looking forward to learning more about this. We're going to get somebody on, hopefully before the week is out, to talk about it. I mean, we got some room because they're not breaking ground until May 22nd. But This is just another example of, oh, look, hey, more growth, more development, more wins. That's going to do it for us. Moon's next. All right. So I have homework before tomorrow, y'all. Number one, find out more about this terrorist link. The link to the terror attack in New Orleans. That's on my docket before tomorrow. Number two is I need to start digging in on Jew Day. It's if you've paid attention to the state legislature for any period of time, you already know. It's like what Representative Chenevert and I talked about in the 7 o'clock hour. Could not be more true. It's where good bills go to die. And also before tomorrow, it's been 3 weeks into the legislative session. I do it every year, and every year I swear up and down I'm not going to do it. I am disconnected on the Metro Council. My job today is to reconnect on the Metro Council and see what all I'm missing on a local level. Because after all, this is a Baton Rouge-based show. So hopefully by tomorrow we'll have some resolution on a few of those different things, and we will see you then. So thank y'all for tuning in. Thanks for sticking around. Show is all over the place today, and I feel good about it. We'll have more tomorrow.